Hello, hello. 43 days remain. What a fun time. All right, I have been working on Skeleseller on the weekend a little bit. I got down to 140 issues. We left the stream with 154, or Friday's stream at least. But actually, I fixed some more, and they're just not closed yet because I haven't merged the branch. Hey, Stockton. So I think we're really down to 134. So I got like 20 bugs done on the weekend. I did some other little things too. Hey, Ramy. So let's start with tenants. Tenants. Actually, I don't even know why I opened that anymore. Well, I guess because we have a new tenant now. All right, let's copy paste all this. Stream already started. You know it. All right, break. So sustainability. Yeah, this is going better. I don't know if it's because of the breaks, because I'm not streaming in the afternoons, or because I'm just dropping the ball. Maybe it also could be because we're close enough to launch and I recognize the importance of doing all of the tasks that I have. Anyway, breaks. I think I took at least one per stream. I should probably aim to take at least two. And bricklaying, I need to lean into marketing more. I've been doing dev tasks just fine though. Yep. Hey, Blair. Okay, that's it. I think we're pretty much on track for that. Yeah, I have take more breaks written here. I have another little update on this mouse that I got. So one, it ran out of battery after a week. I do have the LEDs on even when I'm in wireless mode, so that's probably something to do with it, but I don't think a week is great usage out of it. Anyway, that part doesn't really matter. The thing that matters is the right click now, and there's no way to demonstrate this really, but the right click gets kind of stuck down. So unless I put this like right in front of the mouse and you could hear, it's delayed. So I think I need to like RMA this mouse. And I guess, yeah, I guess if the right click were working, I'd be fine with it. So I'll probably try it again. That broke quickly. Yeah, I don't know what it is about this right click. Like maybe it was just a bad spring or something. But I want to contact Corsair and see what they can do. I got it through Amazon, so if Corsair doesn't do anything about it, I could always return it to Amazon, I guess. But I mean, I'd like to just get a replacement mouse and not have to pay money and not boycott another company. Hey, Zylotics. I shall break my lurking this week. Have things been okay? I think the last time I remember you mentioning something was things were crazy, right? Where is that? I see Benin calls all morning. No, maybe I'm making this up. But anyway, I hope everything's going well. Hey, Mitch. Hey, Kevin. Hey, JD. Do I buy multiples of the old mouse and product I like? Yeah, I don't. If I absolutely loved this mouse, I would probably buy multiples. But I'd never used it before. And I wouldn't say I love the mouse. I think it's an okay replacement. Do you have a way of knowing what % of players will play in each language? I'd be really curious to know the stats. You say will play. Like, are you saying do I get wish list by country or something? I think you might, but maybe what you're asking is once you have those those stats, like will you share them, or do you have a way of getting those stats? I don't know. I don't know the answer to either of those questions. I mean, I could maybe look into the wish list thing, but I don't think that's probably the spirit of the question. Yeah, okay, there is wish list by country. So if I go to all history here, this doesn't tell you about what language people would want to speak though, because you might have someone living in the US who wants to play with French or something like that. But yeah, here's what I see. And it's the same 3 top countries as the Twitch stats, although I think in a different order. And that might have something more to do with that if you're a German content creator, probably the biggest country that's going to consume that content will be Germany. Whereas if you're an English content creator, probably the biggest country to consume it's going to be the United States. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, when you release. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, ask me again, whatever, a week or a month or something after launch, and I'll see what I can do. I'm not actually positive I can even get that information. The other thing is I just found the top languages online when I did a search, and they're all the ones that you saw in Weblate. So if you're looking for just one or two languages to translate, I don't think my experience is going to tell you what's best. I will have launched in French, German, Portuguese for sure, very likely Spanish, and hopefully Italian. So that's what, 5? And English, of course. So I guess 6 languages. If, let's say, Spanish does the best out of those, it might just be because one Spanish influencer picked up the game and like spread it to 10,000 people or something. But that doesn't necessarily mean that you might have the same experience. So like I said, I'm happy to share it when that happens, but keep all that in mind because I don't want to steer you down the wrong path. Oh, the old one. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, I never thought they would discontinue it. I guess I've learned my lesson now. Even then, I wonder if they discontinued the mouse, there's a possibility that eventually just like the support for the software doesn't work anymore. And then it doesn't matter that you have the mouse. Because like what I want to do is I want to bind a key to, let's say, I don't know, Control Shift Tab. So let's say I do this and then someday way down the line, I'm like, you know what, I'm not really using this shortcut anymore. Let's rebind it to something else. I don't know, Command F or something like that. And then the software breaks and I can't rebind it. And now I have a brick. So I feel like it's kind of a trade-off. Now in that, yeah. In that case, Control Shift Tab specifically, at least, I think I'd always wanted a shortcut, but yeah. Had some personal stuff happen, not looking for any attention. Lost a member of our crazy cat household, needs some time. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. And yeah, I get it. We have to bring our cat to the vet. And last year it was such a struggle. Abby was so stressed out. So this year we went to the vet to get like, it's called gabapentin. Apparently it's for seizures, but it's supposed to calm their nerves. And my wife gave Abby the gabapentin and she said, oh, she was like disoriented and she couldn't like make her jumps that she would make. And it's like we aged her 15 years, but just temporarily. And she understood the pain we're going to go through when Abby finally passes. So yeah, I get it. More curious about what should I even bother translating than which languages I should pick. I'm not sure I understand this. What do you mean? Oh, should I even bother? Oh, sorry. I added a what in here. Never mind. I'm more curious about should I even bother translating. Yeah, I think this is another one of those things where it probably comes with that same caveat of my experience will probably differ from yours. But I suspect that if your game will sell well anywhere, then translating it will only increase sales. This is my guess. Hey, Chevalden. Does X Mouse not have a Mac version? I'm not sure, but a lot of ways that these mice are made is that they have an onboard memory and then the OS sees, oh my God, I can't type today. The OS sees them as a keyboard and a mouse, and the keyboard will just send its own key codes like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 and not like mouse 4 or mouse 5. So you need to rebind it from that specific keyboard, which I guess would still potentially be possible. In fact, I hadn't thought of that as a potential way. But then you want to do things like layers and stuff. Dosage really knocked them off their steps. Yeah, actually, I should mention this to my wife. Yeah, I'll write this down. Oh, I had this here. Okay, I want to close some issues. So let's make sure I'm on the right branch here. I've done more of an intro than I thought. Translate Steam pages while streaming. It's important, and it'll light a fire under me to help ask translators for help polishing it. You know what? I am going to hold off on that because there's some stuff I want to learn about it, but I think this is like the number one afternoon task, and nothing else should top this for today. All right, anyway, title screen translations. Let's go figure this out. Ensure title screen dynamically changes languages. Okay, so in Skeleseller, this is the only place where I want to do this because of a scenario that I think is more likely than in other cases, and I'll show this here. And actually, I can show some things that I did. So some of them are kind of minor. But yeah, so here, you're on the screen. You see story mode, bone mode, quick game. when you open the game settings and change to, let's say French, because French is already completely done, it should change story mode as well. And it should change these buttons too. And it should change the dialogues, because this is the one place where I think you would actually change your language if it was set wrong. Once you're in the game, it's not going to do that. So like right now we're looking at a bunch of French in that menu, and I change it back to English and I hit save. It's still French up here. That's okay. I don't care about this, because the way I look at it is you can just hit save and load and it's going to fix it. And who's going to want to change their language once they're in the game? Like when they've noticed on the title screen. And if they do, like I said, there's a workaround. So yeah, we could go code every single component to work this way, but I think it's just going to be the title screen. Hey, TJ. But let me show some things that I did over the weekend that I think are pretty good. So one of them, let's say you had a really tiny game window. Maybe you're playing on a Steam Deck or something. If you had hit the plus button here, it would expand the battle window beyond the size of the screen and then nudge these off to the right. Now, when you hit this plus button, oh, it's docked. Oh, darn it. I didn't accommodate that. Okay, that's a problem. But anyway, if you undock it and do that same repro, now the buttons are forced to stay on the screen. Had not realized that was a problem with docking it. I guess as long as you can see the top, though, you can drag this and then do it. We'd have to dock to the top in that case. All right, I'm not going to do anything else about this, but let me at least write a note about that. Where is that? Am I on the wrong page? I am on the wrong page. Yeah. I fixed this for undocked windows, but for docked windows, it's possible that the game window is short enough that you can't see the buttons. You would need to expand the height of the game window and then drag the docked window to the side so that you can click the controls at the top. i.e., I'm not going to do anything else to fix that for now. Okay, the other thing I want to show quickly is this. How do I do this? I'm trying to think of where this is on UI, I think. Yeah, here it is. Show defeated elite banner. Okay, so we'll go to unhandled. Did I? No, never mind. All right, so I want to put this here. Instance ID.canyon. There we go. Okay, let me show this off. Gotcha. Yeah, I didn't know if I'd made a typo. Okay, so when you beat an elite, a banner would show across the screen saying defeated elite, like this. And that still happens, but watch what else happens now. And I shared this on Discord. And it's subtle. But there is now colorful confetti that shoots out of the NPCs. So any NPCs you have in town that are human, so the enchanter, the shops, the farm, the fishing pond. So if we zoom out in all of these and just press page up, so you can see that confetti. What is nice about this is this confetti matches the color of this text. So I color picked all of this, and then I changed the gradients for the confetti that gets launched. Yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Now, if you are like super zoomed in, you'll see it a little bit more. I think it's nice. It only lasts for like 2 seconds, and then it fades away. Nice little polish thing. Yeah. I get that now, Mitch. Yeah. And hey, Matt. Anyway, that's it. I just want to show that. Now let's actually get to work on this. So title screen getting changed. We need the story mode button to change. Do we listen for the translation? It's probably in that note somewhere. Where is this? I notify on translation change. Is this because the story mode button has 2 different bits of text for it? Start new game. What calls this? New challenge run. I don't want that. Story mode button. Here it is. Yeah, here. We set the text. Okay, so we need to do this on translation changed. And anywhere else we have text equals. Technically, kind of all of that stuff too. Okay, so let's make a new function here. Private void set story mode button text. And then we put this here. Set story mode button text. New challenge mode button. What is that? Oh, this should be saved now. New challenge mode button. Yeah. And there you are. Well, I guess we can still call it button and then just do that and then do one of those. Okay. Now we change this here too. Then we call this from when the notification changes. So we need this thing to implement it. And then we need to add in the function implement. Now, what does that add? On translation change. And this has to be public? I guess so. So all we do here is call our new function. Cool. Any plans to update the offer in-game menu and tips in the top left for release? I think they work, but they don't fit the other menu somehow. The town menu at the upper left, there's no plan to change it, but yeah, I agree. It doesn't look like it's the most fitting. The tips I think are fine. In fact, I never even tried what if we put them on a sheet of paper sort of thing. I should write that down. Consider giving tips a theme, like a sheet of paper. Oh, what? I don't even know how I launched a calculator. Just see if it looks good. First, by changing the theme. And then forcing a tip to be on screen. Watch a smaller streamer that may be interested in playing Skeleseller. He needs to check it out first to see if he would do it. If so, does he need to reach out and how? He doesn't need to reach out. It's just a public game. As far as how he would check it out, just going to the Steam page and clicking download on the demo is probably the best way. If they've got like, I don't know, at least like 40 viewers or something, I could potentially share a Steam key with them for free. But if they're like a really small streamer, like they've got 5 viewers or something, it's probably not something I'd just start giving out keys to like anyone who's going to stream the game. I'm not sure what part of that answer might have been relevant to you, which is why I gave a hopefully complete answer. But yeah, and if he wants to reach out too, that's totally fine. And there I'd suggest just Discord DMing me, but usually you need a common Discord server, in which case the Skeleseller one is probably the best one. And I don't mind sharing their stream or something from here when they're streaming, or even rating them. It all depends on the timing of it. Because if they're going to play the demo, then there's not a lot of contention for me rating people. But after the game launches, I'm probably going to always have someone, hopefully, I'm going to have someone to raid each time. If I'm even streaming then, not a basket case. All right, so this should now be working. And I think all of the buttons should have changed. So story mode, we go into French. Yeah, so now we have all the buttons look correct. This is once we've unlocked bone mode though. And then what about this stuff? This says windowed. Ugh. Okay, so that probably needs to change. Anything else? This one too, I guess? Isn't there a second E in this in French? I'm not actually sure. But yeah, I think both the drop-down menus probably need to change. I'm sure this was translated. I just need to actually change them to the translated pieces of text. Okay, let's paste that in here. These streams be good content? I don't think so. Well, who knows? All right, what about credits? credits all look fine. The word translators was never actually translated. And these, you know, honestly, I don't care too much about whether this stuff was translated in the credits right off the bat. It should be translated eventually, but... Oh, also, these words, German, French, etc., I already have the translations for those, right? Okay, next time I push Webley, I should write this down. Make sure the new language strings are translated. Make sure I translate the new language strings since I already have their translations. And I think that's probably it. All right, and then this is not technically correct, I think, right? Yeah, the scenario parameters, possibly this stuff. Upgrades, unlocked perks. Yeah. I don't think this is as big a deal, though, because you don't have bone mode from the get-go. I mean, I could just change them. Hey, dead walking. Yeah, I could change them. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't think I'm going to touch this for right now. In fact, I think I'll write this down over here. I am not going to tackle bone mode for this. By the time you unlock it, I assume you would have already chosen your language. If you didn't, then just the first run would look strange. Yeah, I like that we've been able to localize it too. In fact, I did not look at the Portuguese for that. Let me go look at that. Web late business optimization. All right, what did Amanda do for Portuguese? Oh, I don't think she did translate it. Okay, I'll ping her about that at some point. Ping Amanda about bone mode. Okay. Hey, Pressel. And thank you. Happy Monday to you too. Okay, so I said I'm not going to tackle it for there. And then the only other thing I need to do would be these two things. So the window mode and the music interval. And those are in the game settings menu. Interval. Where do we put these in? Setup controls. These do more than just set up the labels, right? And we need to change the text. Oh, these are hard-coded? Oh my god. No, wait, no, they're not hard-coded. There's a translate right there. That sucks. Grinding success. Hey, Goose. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Okay, where's the other one? There's window mode. So let's... Whoops, I want to go back there. Music intervals. Yeah, so to do, change this. And then window controls. Where are those? Yeah, to do, change this. Okay, both of these should be easy enough. They're right now just dictionaries of strings. They need to be dictionaries of functions of strings. Yeah, and then these translates turn into that. Why is that not working? What did I do wrong? Cannot implicitly convert type immutable dictionary to string. Oh, whoops, I didn't realize I didn't change that one. In fact, why do I even need... Yeah, that's fine. Okay, great. And then same thing for this. This turns into a function of strings and those... Wow, good job, AI. That's exactly what I was going to do. Okay, so now this has to change. This is going to be to call this function. And that means that we don't need... Well, we are going to kind of need that. add item label function. That's curious. We can't just get what ID this corresponds. It doesn't matter. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. It does not matter. Okay, so this one is just a string. All right. This is going to be label function. We call it. We do this. And we do this. All right. So all that's fine. We just need to call this now when this changes. And we don't have a translation thing here. And now we do that. And then implement it. Okay. So this needs to update labels. Let's go find the other to-do items. Here's one of them. Set up window mode controls. Okay, this is technically correct already, so that's kind of nice. So all we need to do is go through the pop-up and set this again. It's not add item, though. There's got to be like a set item or something. Set item text. Is there text? Oh, thank God. Okay. And then what? Index and text. But index comes first, whereas add item passes in an ID. Can we say like get item ID? Okay. Yeah. I don't love this. Yes, I do not love this. But it shouldn't be that hard to do. So we go through each item here for each something. I guess it's an item. What does get item do? Pop up. Or is there like an IDs thing in here? Can I just get them all? Get items, get all items. Well, we have an index. How do we figure out what the largest index is? Item count. There it is. Easy. And is items a thing that we can access? Okay, so we iterate through this for I equals 0, I is less than get item count. Well, that was easy. And then we do get an ID of each one of that index. And the ID is an integer. And then we do pop up dot set item text, and that takes in, oh, it takes in an index. That was kind of pointless, huh? No, wait, no, it wasn't pointless. I think that'll do it. Maybe we have a tab container where we encapsulate this logic and use enumerations, but never got to it. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna shortcut my way through this and do it this way and not worry about making another class. That way I don't have to think too hard about this. We just write 2 for loops and we're done. But yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work, so let's go find out. So we're in French right now. So this has 3 French strings. When we change to English, it should swap those to... Okay, it did swap them to English, but it did not swap that label. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Update window mode controls. We can't do that. We need to do this, though. Oh, this is kind of a mess. Maybe able to reselect the currently selected item. Yeah, I just don't know if that's going to cause something weird to happen. Where, like, we're in full screen and it tries going back into full screen mode or something. But yeah, maybe that's not a problem. Pop-up dot set selected. Set item disabled. How do you... If I get an item, what happens here? You don't get an item. You get things about the item. Select. Set. Set item checked, maybe? And it's an index? How do we know what's currently selected? Get item checked. Get checked. Get what? Get focused item? Not focused. It's gotta be the one that's actually selected. All right, let's just go look at pop-up menu. Add check. I don't even know if we're adding check items here. What are we doing? We're calling add item. Adds a new item with a text label. So it's not that they're checked. How do we know when we've got, oh, ID pressed. Okay, that's it. So it's probably like, no, there's no like set pressed. Emitted when an item of some ID is pressed. Also emitted when its accelerator is activated. How do you fake this? Huh. Yeah, I don't know how you fake this. Want to emulate an event. Well, whatever. We don't really need to emulate the event. We just need to set the text of the overall menu. All right, how do we do that? Music interval controls. We're working with window controls right now, right? Yeah, so I want this. And then we want to do something here for this. So we get the mode that's currently selected. Can we even get that? Get item. I don't know how you do that. All right, well, we have this ID from somewhere. It must be in the settings, or like the current settings that we have. There's initial save data, and then there's local save data. Yeah, this is what I want, I think. Window mode, yeah, cool, great, wow. And then we don't need this. So then we get the label, and we set it. All right, I think that'll do it. Yeah, this is kind of obnoxious. And we have duplicated code all over the place. I don't really like this. So we have windowed, borderless, full screen. We go into French. Yeah, it's working now. Yeah, I read. I saw you in Fullbox's stream. By the way, I thought your demo had launched, but then I went to the page and it said add to wish list. I think I misunderstood what you said. Is it launching in 2 days? Or is it not on Steam, maybe? Because I saw the page on Steam. I clicked wish list. Wait, I just asked like 3 questions. Sorry. Do you mind? I guess I'll just ask one and I'll ask in chat. Has it launched on Steam yet? Hey, Crucials. It's an early alpha. We just want to get in the typing fast. Oh, maybe the yes was on itch. Well, anyway, feel free to link it because, yeah, I wanted to try it out. Oh, it'll be published on the fest on the 4th. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I'll write that down. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. The typing demo. Yeah. Yeah, I want to check out Scope Creep and your game. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Where is this? Yeah. Yeah, but good work. And it's going to be exciting. And I think, so I was in one of Steam's idle festivals before Skeleseller was for sale, and it still did bring in some new players. They do push the games that are for sale a lot more, though, because they can make money from those. Hey, Leap Your Girl, crunching right now. You should get your army of moderators to help. All right, so I need to do this exact same thing in translation changed. So this is pop-up menu, music pop-up. And then here we'd replace this. So what are we doing? We're iterating over its count. Actually, I should just copy paste this, huh? All right, so this is going to be the music pop-up. And then we're going to take music interval options. And why do I need the ID here? I guess we do need the ID, so fine. So then this is a game constants. Wait, no, it's just an integer. What? All right, I don't really understand why. This is a dictionary. This is just an integer. Oh yeah, I see, because it's number of seconds. Okay, yeah, that's fine. All right, so that one's good. Now what do we do? Now we don't need this. And then when you press it, so that's not what's going to happen. We're going to get whatever's currently selected. It's not string label. We're going to get int interval. And then we're going to get the label from that music label, or maybe interval label. And then set this to interval label. All right, there. That's a code. I hate this function, but we're probably just going to keep it. This is so prone to bugs in the future if we ever change any of the language stuff or add another menu or anything. So yeah, window 10 seconds. Now we changed to French. And yeah, this changed, and so did, well, in French, I guess it's the same. Maybe in German. Yeah, nice. You know, it almost makes me wonder, should we just get rid of this completely? Because I don't think I've ever seen someone change that. And I think it was more interesting to change it when we only had like one music track. But I don't know, maybe someone does. Plus it's already coded. But yeah, there, that's it. So this is working. It's just the worst function I've ever written. We could make it slightly better by getting rid of the duplication. I'm not certain it's worth the time, but I want to look at it briefly at least. So yeah, where do we do this? Set label. Yeah, like if I make a function out of this, give it an ID, set the label based on that ID. I think that would at least make it a lot better. Hey, Zara. There's always going to be the worst function in the project. That's true. There will be. There'll also be a best function. I wonder what that is. All right, so private void, like set music interval button text based on the interval that we have. They're just equal to each other. So we just do this. And then here we call that set music interval button text interval, which I guess is just going to be the ID, which is what, an integer or no? It's a long. Okay. No, that's fine. Let's do it this way, I guess. Interval. Okay, so now that can be deleted. And that means we can delete this from here too. Maybe do this in another place. Oh, nice. Okay, then we're going to simplify this in 2 places. Interval. Okay, so that is a slightly cleaner function, and we can do the same thing for here. Hey, Magnetic Bind. Magnetic Bind, every time I see you post in your own Discord, I'm rooting for you. I'm like, yeah, do it. Doesn't matter if it's patch notes or just telling someone, oh yeah, we fixed a bug. It's a funny little LLM script, reads the entire directory and finds the best and worst functions. I imagine the worst function in a lot of different projects would just be one of the longest ones with a lot of complexity in it. Hey, Phil. And hey, who cares? Welcome in, everyone. All right, so we want to do the same thing. We have a set music interval button text, whatever. We're going to make a something else. I don't know what we're calling this. What is window mode? Set window mode button text. And we pass in a whatever this is, which is a window mode. Then, well, we could just call it mode. Yeah. All right, easy. Then we use this everywhere. So there should be 3 places, right? Here's one. Set this to this. Nice. Function's already looking better. Same thing here. This is going to be the mode. And then there should be one more of those. Yes, here. Set window mode button text. Done. Okay. Out here hustling, yeah. All right, take care, Kevin. And by the way, thanks for working on the Spanish translation still. I saw there was 43%. Yeah, nice. And that PR you made too. Oh my God, happy 70 months, Magnetic Vine. 2-year streak right now. Thank you. Quite the length of time. Okay, so now we go back to translation changed. Can we make this any better? I feel like we should be able to. Yeah, I feel like we should be able to. Huh, that's weird. This doesn't exist anywhere else? We must call... Oh, no, because we call add item. Oh. I mean, there are a couple ways we could do this. We could just add garbage in here and then set them all. But that's probably a waste of time. Let me think about this. We only have to do this once. Hey, Gooey, how are you feeling about the launch? Confident? So I think there are 2 parts. I think there's the game itself, and then there's the marketing. So those are the answers to your question. I'm not confident about the marketing. I feel like I'm dropping the ball on this, and I need to stop doing the development stuff that I'm doing. At some point, we still have something to fix. Like, yeah, I think I have the priorities a little bit backwards right now, though. I'm trying to get our backlog down to pretty much 0 so that any development I do can just be like fun things that improve the game. And I mentioned one of these earlier today. I made it so that NPCs throw confetti when you beat a boss. And here, I'll show this. It's going to be pretty subtle, but watch this character when I beat this. I mean, it's subtle when you're not zoomed in. It's going to be less subtle now, but like, see, they throw confetti, it falls, the colors match this text, and that's it. It's like a nice little thing. People might see that and be like, oh, cool. It's just a little bit more fanfare. They're not going to be like, that made the game right there. But those are the kinds of things I want to add more of. I want to add more little things to discover on the map, maybe. I don't know. Yeah. You know, what'd be funny is if Where's Waldo was not like copyrighted, and I could literally just put like a little Waldo graphic here, and when you click him, it gives you an achievement. Maybe I could throw a Botland bot in here. They're like behind a tree somewhere. Is there a newfound respect for marketers, or has there always been healthy appreciation? Oh man. Okay, so the way I look at this more is along the lines of old Adam versus current Adam. And old Adam hated the idea of marketing and also didn't know how to do it. I now don't hate it. and I know how to do a little bit more of it, but I'm still not great at it. And I think the other thing too is I'm just not devoting the time. If you put me in front of the stream and you said, hey, just go make Skeleseller better, I'd find some development tasks to do. But when that same thing happens with marketing, if I'm like, okay, I've got 6 hours today, what do? I will just waste a lot of that time because I'm not confident in what I'm doing. It's not fun. And yeah, I need like playbooks for myself. So I think the influencer outreach, I got a lot better at. Like I know how to find YouTubers or Twitch streamers now. I email them. I've had moderate success with that. But then the well dried up. At least for YouTubers. I feel like there aren't that many I can reach out to anymore that would still be helpful. Plus some people that I thought would be helpful just never responded to my emails, and I followed up and they never responded to that too. So I don't know. Maybe they're waiting for the game to fully launch. Maybe I should follow up one more time and be like, here's a launch key if you want it. Yeah, I'm not sure. All right. I think this is good enough for right now. I just don't like that we call set text from 2 different locations. Oh man. Okay, fine. Maybe I should change this. Are you a refurbished version of Old Adam? I'm a Ship of Theseus version of Old Adam. Mostly the same parts, still the same identity. Update window mode controls. Do we always set this to whatever it currently is? We could always set it to whatever it currently is. Except for in this case, we pass in a local save data. Where's that come from? This is a new thing. It doesn't get saved. Okay, yeah. Series reboot Adam. Played by Jeff Goldblum. Okay, so we can't just always do that. But whenever we do this, we could update. Well, we don't have a need to update those. Okay, fine. I'll make 2 new functions then. Private void update window mode pop-up labels. So this is going to be that function that I wrote up here. Yeah. Update window mode pop-up labels. All right, we're making this function better for no reason. Whatever. And then when we call add item, this is not window mode. This is though. So we're going to add some like random thing in here. Placeholder. And then just call update. Which means we don't even need this anymore either. So we can just iterate. Yeah, this is a little bit strange. But there we have it. And then we do the exact same thing for the other one. So we call it update music interval pop-up labels. And then put all of this into there. Music interval pop-up labels. We can now rename this to just pop-up. Make it a little easier to read. And then same thing when we call add item. We just add a placeholder. Put this here. Delete this. And iterate over the keys. Kind of weird to say that this is int value. It's an interval. Okay. Let's try that. So now this function is a lot nicer. Like a lot nicer. One more marketing push on my roadmap. Not looking forward to it. Yeah. Yeah. I think also the other thing that's a little bit tough for me is that the marketing strategy has changed a little bit. Like originally, all I had was a demo. So it was get people to play the demo. But now I had, well, at one point I had a demo and a playtest version. And now I have demo, playtest, and release. So now I think it's like get people to play the released version. But if they're a small influencer, maybe I just want to send them the demo anyway. If they're a bigger influencer, I want to probably just send them the release key. And now I got to start talking about like embargo dates and stuff. I don't want everyone to release their video on March 17th and just flood YouTube. I want to have it staggered a little bit. Also, there was an interesting video that just came up. Let me show this. we mute this and go to recently uploaded and scroll down to this person. So this got 4,000 views. This is, I think, 12 different Tycoon games. And yeah, number 6 was Skeleseller. So I left a comment here. I don't speak Portuguese, but I'm like, hey, my friend translated this into Portuguese and it got 25 likes. And then this person said, great initiative to connect with the community. Like, this is probably going to help. This probably got me a lot of wish lists already, actually. So there are little things like that. That was probably like plus 30 wish lists or something. We probably saw a spike in the last couple days. We just look at the last week. Yeah, like I think that was that video coming out. Brazil reference spotted. Everything I ever heard about it makes it seem like it's just significantly easier if you either have a game idea with a huge instant appeal or already have a huge audience. Yeah, or have a ton of money. Because, yeah, the final bit of our marketing strategy is going to be ads. And yet I don't want to run ads until we figure out what's the conversion rate for the game. Because I feel like it would not be the best use of my money. Right now, if we ran, let's say, $10,000 worth of ads, all we can get are wish lists. There's no way to make money. And then we hope that some of those wish lists convert into game sales. But I won't be able to know. So that's why I want to wait for the game to be out before I start running ads. It's also probably hard to know what efforts like that will actually matter. Hard to do all the efforts like that all the time. Yeah. I still think the biggest bang for buck has been by far like YouTube influencers. But to be honest, the ones that did the best are ones I didn't even contact. So like, did they find out about it because I was in Next Fest? Did they find out about it from the YouTubers I did contact? I don't know. But if I could reach more influencers, I feel like it's, yeah, that's the best. But the left tail of wish list beforehand can indirectly add more hype to allow Steam to organically show more in terms of paid ads before launch. Yeah, so there's another thing is there's a lot of Steam magic going on. And some of it is understood, some of it's not understood, some of it you don't have control over. So there's going to be some upcoming magic in the form of within a month or like 1 month before launch. So I guess probably starting February 17th. I think Steam pushes the game more. And then there's a natural thing that happens on Steam where, let's say I don't know, just click this game, whatever. I just want to go to something like this, indie. Okay, so every category has a popular upcoming, and it is mostly sorted by date. This is February 4th, this is March 12th, but you can see not really, because now it just went back to February 2nd. So like this game is probably really popular, if I had to guess, for it to show up. It's number 2 on the list. Is there a demo? Is there... Huh, no, I don't know why this is so high up the list. Okay, there we go. Take a look at this. 106 active topics. So this means that there is some audience for this game already. Otherwise, I wouldn't have that many topics in their thing. But yeah, so eventually Skeleseller will show up in hopefully this slot. And then, yeah, whoever comes here and is like, oh, what upcoming indie games are there? Now, there's something else that's kind of interesting. If you look at... Let's go to... Where's Idle? Here. Okay, if you look at popular upcoming idle games and you scroll down to March. Okay, hold on. This shouldn't take a super long time. Yeah, okay, here we are. We're in March now. I just need to make to March 17th. Okay, here's Skeleseller. So Skeleseller, I think, is the only game launching in this category on March 17th. which if they do prioritize the launch date, that means that we should be in the number 1 slot on March 16th, I think. I don't know if that's going to help or hurt me. I'm also going to apply to be on the Twitch front page on March 17th, which, I mean, that's probably not going to be a huge benefit. Because the last time I did that, I got 100 wish lists. So maybe it equates to like, yeah, another 100 wish lists and a few sales or something. Who knows? Hey, tech guy. Imagine GTA 6 launches March 17th. Who doesn't love having your fate decided by an inscrutable algorithm? So this is one of the things I kind of see as a sentiment in a lot of different places. I see this on YouTube. I see this on Twitch. I see this on Steam. And I think in general, there's so much content that no single person can consume all of any of those platforms. Even, yeah, like even if we only count, I don't know, one month of YouTube videos or something like that. Like the amount of, I don't know, that there used to be a stat that they'd shared on this, like every single day, the number of hours of YouTube videos that are uploaded is like, it's crazy. So that after about a month of YouTube videos getting uploaded, like now no human could ever watch that in their lifetime. Or, you know, fudge the numbers a little bit. Maybe it's a year of YouTube videos or something. I don't know, but it's a crazy volume. I think it's the same thing with Steam. Like Steam gets some number of thousands of games. And okay, maybe you're like, okay, well, what about just the good games? Well, how do you find those good games? You can't just leave it up to humans because a lot of humans are going to overlook something or there won't be a marketing campaign. So I think having an algorithm behind this makes sense when there's such a vast amount of content. If for whatever reason you had a website that had only, let's say, 10 games, then yeah, I would obviously prefer that a human just goes and plays all 10 of those games and then shares their opinions. But otherwise, I think it's just a sort of a fact of the world that we live in. There's so much content being produced that you need something to look through it and something to suggest it to people who might want to find it. Steam Greenlight process circa 2010s. Yeah, I don't know how many games were released back then, but not the volume it is now. Hey, Smash. Was there a time when your wish list started to grow faster or just a steady pace? There were some events that caused it to grow faster. By the way, I did a video on this. Let me see if I can share this really fast. I did a video on this pretty recently. The evolution of Skeleseller. How do I share this? Where's the video? Here. Okay, yeah. So do check this out, but I'll answer your question, excuse me, which is the wish list chart. I can actually just do this and show you the wish list chart. Right there. Okay. Yeah. Here's a wish list chart. I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit, but it's going to be a little bit hard to read. You can see that it is not. Oh, what happened here? Why is escape not working? There we go. All right. You can see that the chart is at like 0 for months and then spikes a little bit and then pretty much goes back to 0, spikes a little bit, goes back to 0, and then spikes a ton and takes a little bit longer to get back to 0. So I labeled what all these things are. But yeah, most of the time it's at 0 or like so close to 0 that you can't even tell. So it's what you might expect is maybe something sort of like time and subscribers on YouTube or something where it starts and it's like barely going up and then it starts going up a little bit faster and then a little bit faster. That's not what's happening here. Hey, Fullbox. Congratulations again. How you feeling? And hey, Phil Powers. 2,500 years of content is uploaded to YouTube. Yeah. So then what is it? The average lifespan is like 4% of that. So 4% of a month. So like 1.2 days is already a lifetime worth of YouTube content. High on adrenaline. Did you feel this way with, was it Block Shop? I want to make sure I'm not saying this wrong. Although I've already said it now. Yeah, Block Shop. Yeah, did you feel this way with Block Shop? Yet apparently millions of books are published each year against the thousands or tens of thousands of games on Steam per year. Yeah, the way I kind of look at that, and I didn't know it was millions of books, but I think of a book is almost a subset of a game. It's like the libretto of an opera, right? Like an opera is necessarily the text and the music. A game is the text, the music, the storyline, the sounds, the multiplayer, the bug fixes, whatever else. Think some of the stakes feel higher now. You know, I think it's pretty interesting because one of the most common refrains of game dev advice is make lots of games, or at least make many games, or a few. But it's rarely like make one game and put all your eggs in that basket. And you probably learned a lot from Block Shop. And I would very much like to see, if you haven't done it already, a blog post or a video talking about what you feel you did differently. Because I myself learned a ton from Botland, and that led me to make Skeleseller. And then what I learned from this is going to lead to the next game that I make, hopefully being a little bit different. And I was talking to my wife about this, and I mentioned this in that video I just shared above. So again, for anyone who hasn't seen this video, I highly recommend watching it. It's a very long video about Skeleseller's evolution. But for Botland, I was probably in the 95% passion territory. And for Skeleseller, I was probably in the 65% passion territory. I never, ever, ever want to get down to 0%. I think this would be that I have become creatively bankrupt and I am just trying to get money. And I think that's a mistake from my own personal ambitions. So I think that, by the way, the other percentage of this is business. So 95% passion, 5% business. So I think for the next game, I think I'm gonna go more toward like 60%. Like I'm gonna start to think before I've even made the game, how will this be marketable? How will I hook people into it? And then how do I play out my creative vision once I have people and don't need to worry about the marketing as much anymore? Does it have a cumulative chart for wishlist? It might. I'm not totally sure, Monty. Yeah. Well, very long for me, at least, those videos. I don't think I've ever made a 30-minute video before. And well, okay, because it's not technically true. I live stream and I make like 4-hour long videos. But yeah, in terms of videos I like pre-record, they're rarely that long. What's your floor for passion? Just curious. It's allowed to change. Probably like 51%. I think I'd still want games to be more passion than business. You're an hour in break time. Yeah. In the next 4 minutes, I definitely want to. So we should check this in, and I should test this out again. I've been making incredibly little progress, but whatever. This is part of game dev. Is not doing game dev. It cracks me up because it's kind of true. It's part of streaming, at least. All right, so if we look at this, we should see all the correct things in here. Good. And then if I change to German, and I could change this, I guess, well, it's going to change it to full screen now, but, and then change this to 1 minute and then go back to English. Oh, that was borderless, not full screen. I don't know German. And I don't know the order of my own parameters in here. All right, yeah, it's working. When some tasks overshadow the main game. I think, yeah, momentarily it probably can. But I think overall I look back at this and I think this was a pretty fun journey. And it was driven mostly by my creativity than by the desire to make a successful business. But yeah, in terms of workload, marketing feels harder to me than development right now. I know you want to do something you don't believe in or have a passion for. Yeah, I'm excited about Skeleseller. Take Foolbox's adrenaline right now, multiply by 3. That's going to be me on March 17th. It's a competition now. You heard me, Foolbox. Okay, I'm going to take a break, and then we come back. We're going to check this in, and then hopefully work on like 3 or 4 of these other ones. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello again. Hey, Macaroni. Okay, close the game. Oh, whoops. I forgot to run the ad break. Oh no, I just saw it says 3 minutes remaining in the ad. I tried to time it with my breaks and yeah, my bad. Sorry, everyone. I meant to run the ads when I was on my break. Oh, I mean, it's the same amount of money whether I'm on my break or not. And I don't do it for the money. I do it because Twitch forces you to do it. Yeah, well, whoops. Okay, so on translation changed, I want to write some things for this, or at least why we use this placeholder. Maybe I don't want to do this, or maybe I want to just make a string out of placeholder until translation. No, just placeholder. Yeah. And then we'll make a private const string this placeholder. We add pop-up labels as placeholders so that we don't need to duplicate code. We already need cref equals on translation changed to update the labels when the language changes. So we reuse functions like this. Yeah, great. All right, cool. This is good. Yeah, this is good. All right, so how many lines of code did we add? 47. Ugh. And then this changed slightly, but this didn't change the number. Oh, it did change the number of lines. Okay, well, that's too bad. And then what else do we do? There should be one other change, right? Title screen. Oh yeah, this is different. And that's fine too. Okay, well, that's that. So update labels on title screen. Fixes this. Note it would have been, no, I guess see the issue for more notes. Yeah, I'll just do that. And then in here, we'll just change this to say no, whoops, notes. And the other thing is Kevin said, hang on, let me look up his chat message that he said. Said this on Twitch. I also didn't do this because I didn't want to spend forever on this task. Well, not forever, any longer. I already spent forever. There, done. Okay, so we're finished with that. Let's also assign this to me just so no one else takes it. It's not that I think anyone would. And let's move on to the next one. Add item drop zone for the whole farm. Try dragging a potion to the well or to the farmer. Pretty much any part of the farm should suffice as a drop zone for the extractor. I don't think we need to do the same for the fishing ponds, since it should be obvious where the potions go, and they'll have automated the process anyway. Only two problems are we can't easily expand the extractor's drop zone since it's in its own scene as opposed to being the farm scene. And if we add the drop zone to the farm, we'll probably want a new string for it, and it would need to be localized. Okay, let me think about this. So yeah, what would happen if you tried dragging an armor item to the farm? We could just put a generic that doesn't go there. So that, or we could treat it like it's the extractor. I mean, we only have like 3 options here. Yeah. I'll write them down. I'll do my usual. So problem, what string should show when you try dragging an armor item to the farm? Option 1, treat it like the extractor. I don't even know what that does though, but we'll find out very shortly. Because we're going to try this. Save and create and drag that there. And it says the extractor only accepts potions. Honestly, I think this is the best thing, but let's just write the other options anyway. Option 2, come up with a custom string, like the farm only accepts potions. I don't know how I feel about that. Option 3 is... I think it's pretty much it. Do we even have another thing we can do? Don't show anything? Yeah, I think we just do this. Because it's an extension of the extractor. This game is poorly done. Feels like a school project. We went over 5 years on this thing. I'm sure, though, as your game gets more and more out there, the more feedback you hear like that. Yeah, yeah. And this is... Like, this is one of the things I think streaming helped. Because you've probably personally seen it in this channel that someone's been less than nice. And it happened a lot more back toward the start of the stream in like 2015, 2016. But yeah, some of those things would just like ruin my day. And then I'd think about them for a while. And then there were, and this doesn't really happen in game reviews because there's no persistence exactly, but like then there'd be people who would show up, they'd aggravate me, and then they'd continue to show up and continue to aggravate me. At least that won't really happen on Steam because it's like they can only leave one review. But yeah, as much as possible, it's like, yeah, you just got to roll with the punches. There's no changing that person's opinion. There's no getting them to see like, hey, I'm a person too. It's just gamer entitlement. And it doesn't really reflect on your game. It reflects on that person's opinion of your game. Yeah. It doesn't probably really help, but if you look at your favorite restaurant or if you look at your favorite, I don't know, product on Amazon or something like that, and you look at the reviews for those, you're going to see negative reviews there too. And it's like things aren't going to be perfect for everybody. So yeah, it is bound to happen. Don't I added Monadic Binds games somewhere, didn't I? Did I not? Oh no, I added flares, right? Yeah. Okay, I should have Monadic Binds game. Hang on, let me go do that. I'm gonna similarly put no effort into it. I should really put some descriptions or something. But the way I look at it is the Steam page is going to do a better job anyway. So, yeah, there's his game. All right, so we're going to treat this like it is the extractor. So we're going to make a drop zone on the farm and just proxy it to the extractor. I think this should be easy. First of all, where does the extractor go in relation to this? The end of the pipe is at the middle of that last segment. So the end of the pipe is there, so the extractor is like right here. Okay. And then let's go get the garbage slime drop zone. Item drop zone. And that's a collision tape for it? Yeah. So I want to just copy paste this over there. Okay. And then I want to make sure there's no like weird overlap here. So anywhere in this general area around the farm should be fine. Yeah. As long as it's not a customer. So, you know what? All I really need to cover is the farmer and the well. I think the rest of this doesn't matter too much. So yeah, let's do that. There, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right. Hey, Erlens. Oh, whoops, command this. My bad. Thank you. There, fixed. All right, now we just plug everything in. Yeehaw. Item drop zone. Do we also need to make it an item destination? Is there anything in the game that is just a drop zone? :** item drop zone. All right, this doesn't work, does it? Open an editor. Destination. Ah, yes, the guild. Okay, so we're just going to do whatever the guild did. Because the farm doesn't need to take in individual items. I hope. I don't know. All right, and then what? Let me just go implement all of these things. I hope this is simple. Should be simple. There should only be like 5 functions, right? Where does it add them all? Here, yeah. There are only 4 functions. And we're just going to copy what we did with a guild, right? Closest drop location is a guild master. Closest drop location is going to be the extractor. And there's no way for it to not exist, although this is not how you get it. Okay, that's done. Drop off item. Whoops. Drop off item is guildmaster.drop off item. Okay. Should again be pretty easy here because we take this as town.extractor.drop off item. Oh yeah, we just proxy everything. Okay, this is not bad at all. In fact, I almost wonder if we should make like a proxy item drop zone, but I am not going to spend any extra time doing code quality stuff when launch is so soon. Yeah, this was like the easiest thing in the world. Wow, look at that. Okay, so now we just move these to where all the other public functions are, which is here, and we're done. Let's go try it out. So this is specifically for 2 things that I've seen people do. One is they tried dragging potions to the well because they read about an extractor, and rather than this thing, they drag it to the well. And now that'll work. So let's try putting a potion in the well. I said that'll work, but what I meant is that won't work yet. I don't actually know why. Oh, I need to handle it in the town, right? Because somewhere we say guild act as a drop zone. Where do we do that? Yeah, item drop zone clicked, hover changed, clicked as item destination. What? I didn't even get the drop zone. I didn't do any of this stuff correctly. I am not paying attention to a single thing. Oh, I didn't even see this. Yeah. What else do I need to do here? Probably initialize it. No, that's it. Why do we fetch this then? Just so that we can get it here? But why do we have this? What is this? Clicked as item destination. That's strange. Oh, because NPCs have it? I don't know. All right, well, we definitely need these things. Create farm. Okay, let's try that. Yeah, it is nice, Grandra. Creating fixtures for things is not always fun because you feel like you have a task and then it creates another task in the middle of it. So I think there's probably one thing missing from here, and I'm not totally sure what yet, but if I drag this over to here, that worked. If I click it over there, it works. Okay, so then I don't understand why this function exists. Clicked guildmaster as item destination. Why is this here? Why did I put this here? I don't know what that is. Guild.cs. Treasure chest feature. Why is that there? Why did I do this? I could comment this out and see what happens. I kind of think everything's just going to work, though. Oh, yeah, what I did not test is what happens when we try dragging armor or a weapon to the farm. It should say just the extractor doesn't accept that. Yeah, nice. That's fine. We don't have to translate a new string. I'm okay with that. All right, let's go and grant this, and then get some guild items, and then click the guild master. It still works. What is the point of that function? Strange. Very strange. Okay, let's put a breakpoint here. And let's save this and try that again. Actually, what we should do is save it with items in there. Save, quit. Very relatable. Well, yeah, this is code I wrote 7 months ago, and I don't know if it even had a point back then. It might have been a misunderstanding, or it might be a misunderstanding now. I don't know which case we're in. So if I try dragging an item over here and I click this, it does not get hit. If I drag it in one motion, it does not get hit. If I click over here, it does not get hit. Oh, that did. Oh, that worked. It just didn't make a sound because I didn't. I don't have the sound on. Okay, now it gets hit, but it seems like there's no reason for that. It's gonna say we're not holding an item, right? Reset drag state. Oh, what? Huh. Yeah, it's not going to do anything. It'll call reset drag state, though. But I don't think there's a reason for that. Yeah, I don't think there's a reason for this. I don't know what this is about. Crazy. Is Godot doable without GDScript? I know I could Google, but I try to avoid AI summaries. I'm using Unity and considering trying Godot. Yeah, it is. And welcome to the stream. Yeah, I'm using C# right now with Godot. There's no GDScript in this project. Or at least none that I wrote. All right, I think this is pointless. Yeah, I think it's pointless. Do we use this anywhere else? No, it's literally just here. And we added it in the same time that I added drop zones. I just don't get why. Yeah, it's seemingly unnecessary. It never gets hit. I can't think of any other way that I could do this. Oh, no, wait. I can think of a way. The quick move menu. But I don't think that has any impact here, right? No, it doesn't. And then these bring it there. Obviously, isn't going to trigger this. And I have a breakpoint or something, or I deleted this? No, the breakpoint is not active. So that didn't actually test anything. Let's get lots of loot. Let's get many treasure stands. And auto open. Yeah. Nothing I do causes this to get hit. I think I'm just going to delete it. I mean, it's not hurting anything to have it there, and it's potentially hurting it to delete it. But yeah, I don't see any purpose. Created Git in Minecraft? No. But I mean, once you have a general purpose computer, I guess going from there to Git is just the next natural step. That's silly. There you go. There are limitations, sure. But for a lot of people, it's completely doable. The only real limitation I feel is that there's no web export right now. Is there a VOD for the day of that commit change? I can look at that. No, it's okay. Yeah. No, you can share links. I don't tend to click links in chat. Also, I think just sharing a bare YouTube link is it's for the get in Minecraft. I was gonna say. I think usually having a description around the link is pretty good. All right. I guess you just delete this. Yeah, I don't know why we did this. It comes from the guild master. Yeah. So if I click guild master over here. Where's the code? I don't even see it. There it is. Why did I do this? Maybe I did this before realizing I wanted a drop zone. That's probably it. Yeah, that's probably it. And I would need to look at the VOD if I wanted to confirm that. But I'm pretty confident that that was the reason. I probably had this typed out first. And then I was like, this is stupid. Let's just add a drop zone. And then I added a drop zone. In fact, it's an item destination. Is that... Why? Why are you this? Oh boy. I just crashed into my green screen. What's the date of the VOD? What is the date? July 25th in the morning. July 25th, 2025 morning. Yeah, I think, I mean, I could just go look through this right now. It shouldn't be that hard to find, right? It was 7 months ago. So let's just click this and see what day this was. This is June 20th. So we need to go forward by a month and 5 days. So there maybe? July 8th. We need to go forward by 17 days. We can't just look at these days. These are not calendar days. Designing for replayability. I mean, maybe the title was just something that was actually helpful. No, now we're 4 days away. Let's look at adding challenge mode. This is day 187.5. That can't be it. Because it half means it was the afternoon. Here it is. Okay, so it's in this VOD somewhere. All right, let's see if we can find it. Oh, wait, we know the name of the commit, right? Oh, no, we don't know the specific one. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, that's a thing we never did. But we're looking at guild supplies at least. It's got to be in the first hour. Oh, wait, no, we know when it was because it's got a time on it, right? Why can't I hover over this anymore? 9:35 a.m. So it would be an hour and 5 minutes into the streams when I committed it. So yeah, it's in the first hour that we made it. Someone's behind you. Yeah, ABC. All right, well, I'll go like a few minutes at a time until we see some amount of guild master code in here. It might have been code that I only cleaned up here, but I actually did the prior day. I'm gonna cut this out. I don't care about this. But I do now wonder about why we didn't use I accepts item for this. Because the guild is a region that proxies to this. This is an I accepts item. Yeah, I see. The guild master is never clickable. Oh, you know what might have called it? Maybe this was necessary before and I changed the order of things so that now it isn't necessary. All right, well, I'm going to check in what I did because it's working. And then we're going to delete this thing afterward. Yeah, this is all not controversial. Okay, so make farm into an item drop zone. Fixes this. Yeah, there's nothing else to say. But then for the guild master, I guess we delete this. So now that's going to cause a bug here. Then that's going to cause a bug in a different file. Then clicked guild master as item destination is going to cease to exist, which means that's going to cause a problem in town. Item false. What does the false mean? Mouse was pressed. Yeah. All right, well, it's all gone. I guess let's just try it again. Yeah. By the way, Mitch, I don't know if you took this on as homework, but you certainly don't have to. I don't think it's gonna tell us anything all that important. If I do some tests and it seems like it's working fine, it's probably just working fine. I know this is a random rant, but I really do hate the relative time references that GitHub uses. Almost all sites do something like that, though, and then you hover over the relative reference and it turns into an absolute one. So I don't think that's too bad, because I think it's more helpful to know how long ago was this thing, especially in terms of commits or comments, as opposed to having to do that yourself. Plus, you might misread the year and then be like, oh, this was just a month ago. And then if only it had said 13 months ago, you'd be like, oh, it was last year. All right, so let's turn on the sound again. No, no, don't take my items. There. Yeah, I don't see any problem with this. Yeah, I've tried every way I can think of. The only thing I haven't tried is with a controller, but that should just be a proxy for the mouse anyway. There we go. Wow. Oh, wait, yeah, that's the wrong item. Like, it is broken, but I just grabbed the wrong thing. No, it works. Okay. Yeah, I don't see a problem. Remove unnecessary code. As far as I can tell, being able to click the guild master directly is unnecessary for bringing guild supplies. Turning in guild supplies. Sorry, I had to sneeze. I can only assume that I did this before I decided to make a drop zone. Or maybe I later changed the order of events such that drop zones would trigger first before clicking NPCs. Either way, every method of bringing items to the guild still seems to work. Okie dokie. So this is nice because it's just deleted code. Less to look through in the future. All right, so that is now done. Next up, farming and fishing work. Just make sure what? The work is already done. Add smoke whenever we build something. I'm pretty sure that's done. I can't imagine that I didn't look at this before. And I'm I'm sure that the farm has it. I'm like 99.9% sure that the fishing pond has it. I didn't add cursor sensitivity, no. I think it's still one of the items. Yeah, so there's smoke there. And what about here? Okay, so that's done. Next, need to fix the individual tiles Y origins so it looks like you're in front of the fence when you're actually in front of it. Easiest way is to snap the skeleton to a cursor with this. Wow, I even wrote it out. Look at me go. This is wonderful. Town process done. Yeah, should be very easy. And then that's already finished. So yeah, this be a pretty simple thing. So now there's going to be a worker stuck on my mouse the whole time. But they're probably going to try walking away from it. Yeah, they're trying, but they can't. And all we need to do is try dragging them in front of all of these things and make sure this looks good. Yeah, so like they look like they're behind the flower and then they're in front of the flower. I think when they're here, they should probably be considered to be in front of it. Yeah, so like we can change that coordinate. Anything else? They just walk on top of this rock. That's okay. I think they walk on the path anyway. They walk behind these planters. They can never walk in front of them, but we could change that too if we wanted. The rocks, I don't think they can walk in front of. And that's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so save, quit, and let's go modify this in here. I don't remember exactly how you do this. Godot. Engine. Y sort. All right, here it is. In tile set, you can select a tile and change Y sort origin under rendering. Okay, so that's what we got to do. So we go find those flowers. And then we go find the tile set that has the flowers. Is there an easier way to do that? Can we just click this? Oh, is a flower in there? It is in there, but it didn't seem to work. Oh, because of that. Nice. Okay, so now we change the Y sort origin of this, but in the tile set, which is ground sprites. I gotta do this for all of these? Oh, that's kind of stupid. Where is the... Oh, I gotta click select. All right, rendering. There it is. Y sort origin is -4. Maybe -8. I don't know. I'm gonna do this, and oh wait, we can see it right there. Oh yeah, -4 looks. No, 0 looks pretty good. What does -4 do? Put it up to there. They're all right there. Huh. Is it because it's the center of the skeleton? Yeah, so when the center of the skeleton gets there, this suggests to me that the center of the skeleton needs to be changed. Or like, yeah, the Y sort of the skeleton. Because what do I want to do really here? I want to change this to like negative, I don't know, 8. And that should just change on the fly, I think. No, it didn't seem to. You probably can't change this on the fly then. What if I said it's -14? Yeah, I think I need to restart the whole thing. And now it's going to look bad, but I don't know in which direction it's going to look bad. So let me turn off the sound. Yeah, so I went too far negative with it. I need to go more positive. So let's try 0. See what that looks like. Yeah, okay. So that's more like it, I think. Now they're behind the flower until they get... Oh, no. Now it's when they get even lower. So I guess I want it to be... Okay, so I want it to be like -8. There. But this is only because of the height of the skeleton, I think. That's why I think is causing this problem. Yeah, so that's probably... No, I think it still looks bad. All right, we're keeping it how it was. We're just not doing anything about this. Yeah, I'm happy with how it looked. All right, cool. Yeah. Did I ever modify that? Okay, that's the last thing I'm curious about. It's world.tres. Let's go take a look at that. So, wait, was it in here? Oh, I didn't load the right file. World.tres? How did I end up in in-world button? I must have typed something wrong. All right, so somewhere here, there's a Y sort origin. Yeah, when were these lines done? 9,067. This is probably going to take a while. Oh, didn't take a while. 9,067. Farming follow-up. Yeah, so it's already done. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. All of this was already done in the past. Okay. Demo specific stuff. What's this? Wish list button in the menu. Do we still have that? Didn't I delete that? Feature flags is demo. True. I think I deleted that menu option. There used to be a wish list in the demo. Maybe it's still there. I don't know. Maybe we need to delete it from everything. Play game. Ah, yeah, wish list on Steam. Okay, what do we do with this? We have a few options. Right now, the escape menu shows wish list on Steam. Option 1, keep it, but just for the demo. Option 1B would be keep it just for the demo, but change the text to buy on Steam. Option 2 is drop it everywhere. I think I'm leaning toward this. Just get rid of the option completely. There's something else that says press escape now to do so. Is that still in the game? No. No, it's not in the game anymore. Well, isn't there some like pre-launch message somewhere? Yeah, here. You've unlocked the volcano, which marks the end of the demo. Don't forget to wishlist Skeleseller. And you've unlocked the volcano, which marks the end of the demo. Whoops. We hope you had fun. Buying the game will let you continue from this point. The full game has several more locations, buildings, adventures, and even a roguelike mode to unlock. Okay. Yeah, I think we just delete it. I just want to take a picture before I do. And then we go to in-game menu and delete this button. Open Steam page. And this stuff was translated. Shame. All right, so that's gone. Open Steam page is here. So the open Steam button is gone. URL opener.open Steam page. This is the full game, right? Not the demo? Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't see a problem with keeping this URL, although it's not being used anywhere, so I don't see why we'd keep it, but delete that too. Okay, so now let's go try it out. I don't know what the usual flow is for going from a demo to buying a game. So I don't know what players expect. Like, you'd always just be able to go into Steam and go purchase it. But do you want a link from the game? Yeah, this looks pretty minimal now, which I kind of like. Yeah. Okay. I think that's what we're doing. Anything else? Yeah, that's it. Okay. And actually, let's try without being in the demo now. Hey, Soli. I think some games just have the platform icons on like the title screen. Yeah, I don't know how Steam feels about you having a platform that's not Steam on the title screen. Because I remember back in the Botland days, I think I had in my trailer something like, you can get the game on itch or on Steam, and they're like, just put the Steam part. Which, that's fair. I don't, yeah. All right, this looks good. And no issues in here. Yeah, nice. Okay. Remove wish list on Steam button. Fixes this. This also deletes some translated strings. Not a big deal. Because no matter what, we're not going to put wish list on Steam back in the game. If you can buy the game on Steam, we wouldn't tell you to wish list it. We tell you to buy it. So like that's going to be pointless. And same thing with this. Notify when it's released. The when it's released will be meaningless in another, whatever, 43 days. So yeah, let's get rid of all that. Okay. Done with that one. Next up, delete the metrics server. Only intended for the playtest. I wrote metrics server.md, which can also be deleted. We can also remove client-side code that tries uploading runs. If we did want to keep this, we need to have players opt in and include a privacy policy. I never really used the metrics server. So I think my biggest question here is, will I ever want to use it in the future? And I don't think it really matters what the answer is. We'll just modify deleted code.md and link to the commit where I delete this. And then just stop running this and stop saving passwords and everything. Oh man. Yeah. And then stop running it on my mini PC too. I forgot about that. Need to make sure the server stops auto running on my mini PC. It's a good thing I thought of that, because there'd be no reason to keep it. Let's look at it one last time. How do we even do this? Let me take a look. Interesting. Somebody played the playtest version on January 31st. Very interesting. And they started playing on the 27th. Did they ever play before that? No. Interesting. There's nothing personally identifiable in any of this. These UIDs are just made up by the client. But yeah, other than this one person who played, no one else. Well, this is just for bone mode too, but no one else has played since the 21st. That person just played one scenario, and it's scenario number 5. When did they play before that? Like 3 weeks before. Interesting. And then this person, I think I know who these people might be. But yeah, I don't think we keep any of this, do we? Is this every single run that was ever done? That's it? Oh man. Oh no, we're created as greater than 1017. Yeah. Yeah, I think we just delete it all. Oh man, this is always going to feel the worst to me. When you delete code that's working totally fine, that you just decide you don't want anymore. And there's a lot to delete here too. Okay, well, let's start doing it. Home Atom code Skeleseller metrics server. Code Skeleseller metrics. How do I run this? There's got to be a Docker compose file somewhere or something, right? Hey, Codex. And hey, Ayush. Love when I get to delete code. That's usually because the code is related to products from many years ago. Yeah, I feel a personal connection to this. And have I tried the new Godot release? No. You don't need that code. It's like a high school or past relationship that wasn't necessarily bad. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't remember how I started this. Oh, set up system D entry. What? Okay. Well then. There we go. There's the answer to that question. All right, so this can just be deleted. Deleted code. So this was a server to collect bone mode runs from playtesters. I never really looked at it too closely. See this GitHub issue. Oh, yeah. That's why I have this file, deleted code.md. It's got links to specific commits or resources that I wanted. That way, if I'm ever like, oh, where is this in Git history? I can just look at this file and be like, oh, metric server, there it was. And in this particular case, it's going to be linked from the commit that closes this issue. And I don't want this code hanging around if I have no real use for it. And it was never intended to make it to the launch version. It's not in the launch version, just to be clear. There's some code in metrics uploader that checks. Yeah, if metrics aren't enabled, just return. And metrics are only enabled if you're in debug or the playtest. So the launch version has no exfiltration of any data, anonymous or otherwise. And only the playtest version, and I guess technically developer version, had this. But like I said, it was all anonymized stuff, so it was not an issue. But yeah, I'm going to delete it all. So our release instructions need to change too. Set playtest specific environment variables. Yeah, this is just gone. Which means we don't need it in project.godot anymore either. Metrics server, yeah. Man, which means the release tool gets modified. There's so much here. That's going to cause me to have to reload this. Good. Now we search for this stuff. Metrics server. So metrics uploader. This is all going to be gone. What do we use for this? Just system stuff? Okay, that's not bad. I should probably take another break while I'm doing this task. Are metrics enabled? I guess that can be gone too. Anything else that we have? Get metrics ID. Oh my God, that's going to be out of the file. Interesting. Hey, Cuttlefish. Ensure metrics ID exists. And this is only if you were in the playtest version. Metrics ID file name. Oh my God. All right. Yeah, so let's just keep a list of this stuff. This is how I like to delete code, is write down all the symbols we need to search for to make sure this is deleted. This should be gone, right? I guess we'll find it pretty easily. But then this too. So that's going to be gone. Oh man, ensure metrics server, metrics ID exists, metrics file name. If the file exists, ID, write it as a JSON blob, deserialize it into this GUID and then return it. Okay, I guess all that can go away. What else do we need to search for? The whole metrics uploader is going to get deleted. Challenge mode, save file, upload to server. Successfully uploaded, blah, blah, blah. Don't care. Don't care about this stuff. I'm going to just copy this and write this in our deleted code thing. We ever want an example of that, unearth that commit. You're to blame for my most recent purchase. I've ordered a Lily 58 Pro keyboard, switches, keycaps. They shall arrive in a few weeks. Very excited. It's like your corn for the extra row. Yeah. I've seen the Lily 58. I hope you like it. Do you have an encoder on yours? Because, man, encoders are awesome. Sometimes they have it instead of an extra key here. Yeah, like that. I think that's pretty nice. But yeah, I hope you enjoy it. Yeah. So I say GUID. I know some people say GUID. And some people say GUID. Me three, it wasn't cheap. Yeah. What keycaps did you get? What colors? All right, what else do we have here? Metrics server. Was this used anywhere else? They're private, no? URL, yeah. Oh, man. Okay, well, we delete the whole file. Goodbye, metrics uploader. I guess goodbye, metrics folder. Okay, so this is gone. This is gone. This one's not gone. But now it is. This also isn't gone. There's a README here. For the metric server itself. Goodbye to you. Yeah. Anything else? Godot tools. What are you? Oh, the release tool. Yeah, that's right. Hey, Dead Robot. GUID. I like that. Gone for white main. Got gray for each left and right extremity. Chili red for the command keys at the bottom. Was getting a case made with frosted red acrylic. You better share pictures on Discord of that. But yeah, I like I like really colorful stuff, which I know this keyboard is not, but it should have LEDs on, and I just broke them. And that was where the color was supposed to come from. But yeah, I had an Ergodox EZ a long time ago, and I bought some custom colored keys for just some of it, and I thought it looked really good. You know, despite liking keyboards as much as I do, I don't buy a lot of keyboard stuff. And I even got rid of the prior like special keyboards that I had. I had an Ergodox that I sold. I had a Moonlander that I think I sold. I had a GMMK Pro or something that I just gave away. So when I'm done with a keyboard, I'm like, I don't want to keep it. So I have this and I have my gaming keyboard. And my gaming keyboard was just free with a computer that I bought. It's not very good. But I don't want to use a Corn for doing like FPS gaming. All right, so metrics server, URL, mvar, and password mvar are gone. And then whatever used those are going to now cause problems. This is also causing a problem. Anywhere else that this exists? Project settings tools? URL key, URL regex. Replace with a metric server URL. We're not doing this anymore. Project contents was only fetched for that reason? Huh. So then this function name is probably wrong. Oh, the function name doesn't need to exist anymore. Set metric server information, project setting tools. This is just going to be gone, right? Do we still use this? Yes. Okay, goodbye to you. So this is no longer needed. Okay, so both of those are finished. Anything else? If we just search for metrics, for example, where else does that show up? There are not very many of these. There's some things in the git ignore. I mean, I guess we could delete those, right? What do I care? Yeah. Although, let's leave it in git ignore because I already have those files on my machine. Deleted code, that one's fine. Metrics server.md, why does that exist? It doesn't exist. Oh, because I have the file open? Okay. You're gone. Note to playtest. Okay, so this is going to cause a problem, and then so will all the translated strings, and that's it. Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it. Oops. All right, so what we got to search for is note to playtesters. And then every translated string that had this, I need a copy. So French, we copy. Note to playtesters. French. Oh, this pastes stupidly. Well, whatever. So that's French. What else do we have? German. Just make sure that I actually copy this correctly. Okay, then what else has been translated? Portuguese and Spanish. And that's it so far. So this is Portuguese. And Spanish. Okay, cool. Because we're going to lose those. Current keyboard is that. Really good and expensive ergonomic mechanical keyboard. Oh, yeah, this looks kind of like the Microsoft ergonomic keyboard. And I used the Microsoft ergonomic keyboard for a very long time. I liked it. But I am quite a fan of the Corn. All right, this string needs to be deleted. Oh, did that not work? No, it did not work. All right, I should take a break. I'll run ads this time so I don't forget and then cause people to have to watch ads later. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Close the game. Same low profile tactile switches. Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah, something less huge. So okay, I want you to remember this because in the future you're gonna be like 58 keys. That's way too many. You're gonna go for something with 36 keys. You're gonna cut out 22 of them. You're gonna be so happy. Oh man. Yeah, actually, now that I have a wireless mouse, it'd be very easy for me to put the mouse in between the two keyboard halves. But then I don't know. It's just, there's no real reason for me to do this, I think. All right, so did this run? I think it did. I don't even know if I tried, actually. Let's try running it. Think you have the same mouse? Yeah, this is a Scimitar SE. I really liked the mouse I had, and I don't like this mouse as much. But also the right click is sticking, and it's annoying me. So all we need to do is complete a run, and nothing should go wrong. Yeah, nice. All right, have I done everything? I think so. Yeah, this is something I gotta do off stream. Anything else? I don't think so. I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, I want to look at this. Yeah, so this dialogue is much smaller now that we no longer say note to playtesters, blah, blah, blah. And if you shrink this... Okay, well, there's only so small this can get, I guess. Okay, I guess we go check it in, right? Is there anything else I need to search for? Metrics? Password? All right. Oh, I should probably test the release tool. You're waiting on the wired version. Should be in tomorrow. Hoping to increase AutoCAD production with it. Did you get it for 50 bucks? Because I was going to say Amazon was running a discount where it was $50. So if you paid more than that, you might want to buy the $50 version. I paid 70 for the wireless one. How would I test the release tool? I guess I just run it. Well, let's check this in first, and then I should say test the release tool. All right, so was this 1163? Delete the metrics server. Fixes that. All right, so that looks good. This got reformatted, but the thing I actually modified in it was at the bottom, which is this. Yeah, I got it from Corsair. Yep. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so that mouse has another button. Mine only has this one here, but yours will have one right above it, which changes the profile. The change profile button on this mouse is on the bottom of it, which might not bother you, but I switch between Mac and Windows, and anyway, I need the IQ software open. The IQ software is kind of silly, by the way. There's a lot of like weird choices they made with it. So as an example here, let's say go to key assignments. Like, why did they use a 2-column layout when your mouse has 3 columns of buttons? Why not just have it match? They have space here, just like add a 3rd column, and then button 3 isn't in the first column because it's supposed to be in the 3rd one. It's just a lot of weird things they did, and it's just, I don't know. I can't tell why this stuff hasn't improved already. All right, this is looking good. That's good. Yep. Totally deleted files. Yep. I mean, I should probably try running from here. Nice. Okay. Yeah, this is looking good. I mean, there's a lot of deletions. I don't even have anything else to write. We just commit this. Hey, life's faded. You used to have problems even detecting the devices. Fact is doing something these days is an improvement. Yeah, but it's disappointing coming from something that just worked and met all my needs. And now, I mentioned this earlier, but there's no, like, the only top buttons you have are these two and this one, and I guess the scroll wheel. So you have 4 top buttons. I wanted a shift key. So right click is bound to shift and not actual right clicking. Whoops. I changed profiles as I did that, so it looked like I'm a liar. Hang on a second. Why? Okay, there we go. Yeah. Yeah. So when I right click, it doesn't actually do anything but change the profile. So that way, like, I can press enter and I can press close tab with the same button on the side. Overwrite default profile on my PC and use it without the software on my work PC. Yeah. That's possible. If you need to change layers too, I think only the wired version can do that with the onboard memory. But I posted on Reddit about it and nobody actually answered me. It was this, and like Life's Faded said, I got one comment saying, where is it? Just be thankful IQ is working. And that's it. That's the help I got from the Corsair subreddit. Hey, Woodcut. All right, so now we go test the release tool. I'm not actually going to do a release right now. I just want to make sure it works. So let's just build the playtest version, I guess. But I don't want it to finish. So I guess we just run it. Okay, it runs. That's good. And then if I do that, well, if it runs, that's probably good enough, right? Yeah, I'll press enter here. I'm not actually going to do anything else. Yeah, let's just close out of it now. That's fine. That's all I need to be relatively confident this is working. If it doesn't work in the future, then I'll just fix it. Because I'm going to do another release between now and 43 days from now. So it's not like I'll be scrambling. Also, one of the other biggest learnings I had from Botland is never release stuff live on stream. If it goes south, you're in for a world of pain. Yeah, there was a day where I was on the front page of Twitch and I was like, I'll launch Botland on this day and then we'll all play it. And the launch did not work. And I spent like an hour. Oh, it was so miserable. It was so stressful and miserable and frustrating. Because I couldn't share any of what I was doing. It was all infrastructure stuff and like specifying passwords to servers and SSHing into things. And so it was just a video of my face being stressed out for like an hour. I was so upset. All right, so this is done. This is done. QMM for the chef slime. This one's pretty minor, but I just want to get done with issues. So here's what it looks like right now when you're holding a crop. Second option should change to a chef slime. So we go to gameicon.net. It's gameicons.net apparently. So let's get gameicon.net out of here. Oh, whoops. And then we search for a chef hat. Chef toque. Yeah, so this is what we use. And it's by Delapuite, and we're already giving Delapuite credits, I believe. Yep, we are. Okay, so I always forget how we do this. We want it to be 128 by 128. We want the background to be transparent. We need to unlock that. And then we need to get items. Then save. Yes, transparent. Okay, so background type none. And then the color of it is white. That's a question because I don't actually know what it is. Icons. There it is. All right, let's just load this up in Chrome, I guess. Chrome. Yeah, so it must be white because I can't see it. And that's it. Now I download it as an SVG. Yeah. Okay, then we drag this over to here and add Delapuite at the end. And then change the size to be 128 by 128. Everything else should be fine, right? Yeah. And click Godot. And now we just need to go make it get used. I think I already do this in enough places, so it should be pretty easy. Yeah, here we go. We have some overrides here. So let's just copy paste this. If item is a crop and the button ID is send to recycler, then the label changes to building strings dot chef slime name. What does it say right now? I don't have the chef slime. It says garbage slime. Where's that come from? Oh, okay, I don't know about that. Why don't we use the building string? Oh, man. Okay, well, I don't know about that. But I'm definitely just using the chef slime name from here. Crop is not a thing. Is it food? Food. Excuse me. Okay, so that's a label. Now we need to change the icon. Where do we change the icon? Here it is. Icon to use. Item category. That's not correct. Yeah, that's not correct. Because we got to modify this for the second button. Okay, well, let's do this. Like, slime icon to use. So if you're holding a food item, it becomes chef toke. Otherwise, it becomes whatever the recycle one is called. Recycle lork. Okay, and then the sender recycler uses that. And I think that'll do it. I think that's the whole feature. We can simplify that code a little bit, but yeah, as long as it looks good, the feature, I mean, we don't even need to do that part. So we just continue. So if I drag an item like this, all right, I need the, oh, wait, no, the destination wouldn't work. Yeah, it wouldn't know to send it there. Yeah, we need to say item category equals item category dot food town dot chef slime. The other thing is the chef slime doesn't have to exist. Oh yeah, but if it doesn't exist, then nothing will happen. Okay, did I save? You know what? Let's change the cheat menu. There's a grant items thing. Grant random items and grant forest items. We'll just change the forest items. All instance data. It'll grant potions and also carrots. Carrot. There. So now we can test it with just one click instead of having to go do a whole bunch of other stuff, which would be tedious. So load the game. Nope, it took it from me. So if I take the carrot, it says question mark, question mark, question mark. But it does show the chef hat. Now if I do this, it shows garbage slime. Okay, now if I unlock the farm and take a carrot, it says chef slime. And it puts in the chef slime. Nice. That's pretty good. The icon does look a little bit strange. In fact, it looks like it's squished a little bit, but the graphic here even looks like it's squished a little bit. What if I just type chef, like maybe a frying pan or something might be better? I mean, there probably is a frying pan. Yeah, there's a wok. The chef sign doesn't use a wok though. So I think the chef hat is better. I just don't really like how it looks. but very rarely is someone actually going to see this icon. It's only when you're holding a crop, which is not easy to do, and you might not even look at the icon. You might just drag over to here and be like, oh, it went to the right slime. Nice. Chef knife. Yeah, I think that'd be even maybe, it's like the wok. Also, I don't think there's a chef knife. There's knife and fork. That's more like eating than cooking, right? Cook. Oh, hey, that would, well, that's a human. No, yeah, I'll just stick with a toque. I think that's probably fine. Yeah, I guess we could use a carrot or something. I'll just stick with what we have. Yeah, I think it's okay. And yeah, that's the whole feature, right? So if I change to French, and then I click this and click this. Nice. All right. And I'm nearly positive, but they are in our credits. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, no, and that's fair. I don't mind suggestions for things like that, even if I disagree for whatever reason. Oh, I did not test with anything other than a potion. We should test with armor and stuff. That's still a potion. There we go. Garbage slime. Nice. Come on, disappear. Good. Yeah, so you don't have the chef slime. It just doesn't show up. Nice. Glad it's already working. Oh, and then I said I would probably change this. Okay, fine. Let's probably change that. All right, what is this item action menu? That this just looks a little bit bad. Set button texture. Send to shop. I think it's okay. Yeah, I'll just keep it how it is for now. But maybe what we should say here is like shop icon to use. Or just shop icon. And slime icon. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so what is that issue? That's here, 1096. Add quick move menu destination for chef slime. Fixes that. And we don't check this in, but we check in everything else. Yeah. Okay. Animal. I have crazy short abbreviations. Yeah, I don't really think there's a reason to use abbreviations in your variable names unless it's something so common like ID. I'm not going to write identifier every time. But yeah, something like ID is fine. Or if you would have otherwise had some like mega variable name, like 100 characters long, then yeah, maybe an abbreviation. But probably that just points to needing a different variable name altogether. Okay, this is done. All right, finished with that one. We're making some pretty good progress. Perk audit. This one should be pretty fast, I think. Audit which perk should be unlockable versus default. For example, instant loot is something you get by default in bone mode, but it's not something that shows up in story mode. That's not even true anymore, but it was as of October. I think any perks that are exclusive to bone mode should probably require beating enough runs for the player to unlock them. That way you have a chance to read them over and you're not as overwhelmed. Currently, the only perks that can be unlocked are generated ability. Need to bring back meta perk granting perk. Shouldn't even involve looking back into get history, just make a new ability to inherit some player ability. Okay, I don't know. This seems kind of like it's going to be a very simple task because I'm not going to do very much here. So are all of these perks in story mode is all we're looking at. Yes, yes, yes. No. Yes, yes. No, but that's because you buy these. Yes. No, because you buy it. Yep. No, because you don't need it. Yes. Yep. All of that. And then these. I looked at the treasure room one specifically. I think we're fine. Yeah, I think we're fine. What about the stuff you unlock? Repeat elites. You can't get that in bone mode. Yeah, I think this is fine. And item stacking is a meta perk. Okay. I quickly went over everything on this. It all looks fine. So I don't need to make a commit. All right, Sprite bleeding we'll look at because I think it's already fixed. Murder Candy hit this on September 2nd. But then I probably fixed it after that. Git log grep lead. I think it's this. When was that commit? I should probably just memorize how you form a commit URL. It's just /commit and then the hash. Fixed Sprite bleeding on December 4th. Okay, December 4th is after September 4th, so we're fine. Original bug report. Was this Murder Candy? Let's go find out. No, it was Ufta. Okay, that's fine. This was fixed 3 months after I filed this. See this. Actually, we can just do that, right? Nice. Got to be a way to add it to the CLI so it gives you the date. Oh yeah, there is. I could probably just get rid of the one line thing and then it shows up right there. The thing I wanted to do though is find out was this the correct one? Well, I guess in this case it was pretty obvious that it was, but yeah, I didn't know if there was something else. Anyway, cool. That one's done. Swap archer abilities, make held items grow slightly. I don't want to do the Z-index thing. I just don't have the capacity for that right now. So this is an issue that's been in the game forever, and it's not very important, but I still want to do it. When you read character skills, they're generally pretty simple stuff. But the archer starts with the most complex skill first. I think it should be their third skill. In fact, it actually does kind of make me wonder if we should change the mage to put mental swiftness last because it's the longest one. Like fireball is incredibly simple to understand. Same thing with lightning zaps. Yeah, I am going to do that. Let's rearrange all of the abilities that we have. This should be pretty simple. Mental swiftness. Here we go. We just put this last. Then same thing for the archer, except for the archer, I don't know what order we want the other ones in. Because should they match the perks that you have? Like this icon is the same as that, and this icon is the same as that. So should we swap the order of these two as well so they show up in that order? And yeah, maybe. I don't know. Let's do that. So we do that, then this, then this. Claw to the rescue. Get log pretty format. Yeah, AI is really good for coming up with the commands for that stuff. Hey, DevDad. Ever repro the bug from last week? Oh, what was that bug? I like vaguely remember. Hang on, I want to see if I can recall it. God, I remember what we were doing. There's a whole lot of looking back at stuff and seeing when something happened. Had to do with the battle, right? Had to do with the witch doctor summoning things. Yeah, I remember now. It was the whole enemies getting double disposed. Yeah. No, I did not. Yeah. These are just checking in the browser. Of course, alias it. Yeah. in this case, I happen to have something close enough in my history that I looked at. All right, so all we're going to do is look at all of these different skills that we have and just make sure they're in the right order in a way that makes sense. Yeah, like these I think are in the order of importance. Okay. This is fine. This one we maybe want to do with execute in the final position. No, I kind of like the order of that already. What about this? So, yeah, I'm going to put this one in the last spot. Resonant healing. What else do we have? Golem. This doesn't matter. Well, maybe gravel should be first. No, I think it's fine. Yeah, that's fine. These are all super simple. So that's okay. Summon zombie, poisonous skin, but yeah, all this is good. Okay, cool. You didn't ever find the cause? Those are the worst bugs? Well, I found, I think, a cause. I just don't know for sure. Okay, so the real thing that happened that day was I found a bug. I then fixed at least one instance of that bug, but I don't know how that could have possibly happened in the video that I had of myself reproing the bug. So I don't know for sure that I fixed every instance of it, but I couldn't find any other instances of it. Does this game allow multiclassing? No. Yeah. Okay, so let's just click continue game here. And I should have all the characters. Now we're going to look at this again. So yeah, now Fireball is first. It feels so weird to me, even though it doesn't matter. It doesn't change anything, by the way. The order of these is just whatever the order is that it shows in the UI. And that's all we've done here. So I changed the order of some of this stuff. The Archer is one of them. Yeah. I like this. I like this better. Did I change any other ones? I don't even think I did. I think it was just those. Right? 3 of these. Rogue, Cleric. No, not Rogue, Cleric. Mage, Cleric, Archer. There's the Mage. There's the Cleric. There's the Archer. Yeah. Okay. Rearrange some Adventurer abilities. This fixes that issue. I wanted the abilities to be in orders that make sense. Archer, see original issue. Mage, ordered by complexity. And Cleric, ordered by expectation. I'm not even going to clarify this. No, done. Because you that, but it's whoops. I don't usually have that problem with needing to pseudo something. All right, next up is make held items grow slightly. Filed this from a while ago. One little idea that just came to me for held items. Whoops, I keep doing that. Make them grow slightly so it looks like they're closer to you when you pick them up. Should be pretty easy to do, right? So let's say we got some items and you click one of these. The one that you're holding should get a little bit bigger. Player held item. Pick up item. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Start holding item. So somewhere we create a new item. Displayed held item. This is the item that's rendering on screen just to show the player that something is held. Yeah, here. Equals item.clone. Add it. Make it clickable. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to tween it. Tween equals this dot create tween. Tween dot property. All right, now how's this work? You pass in the object. So displayed held item. Oh, wow, nice. I already knew the scale. How did I know that? And we want to tween it to 2x. I think it's going to be a little bit too large over the course of half a second. So let's just see what that looks like. Like I said, probably too large. We're doubling the size of the item. Work on input order and drop zone. Commit has wrong date. Immersion squash big branch with treasure chest. I see. Well, thank you for even trying to take a look at that ABC, but I'll give you a point, but I feel bad because like I don't. Yeah, I would have just fully closed the loop. Yeah, so thank you. No, I make CLI mistakes, just not ones involving sudo. I don't tend to use Linux all that much. All right, so we just need to pick up any item. So how about this? Let's just go and drop a bunch on the ground and then hit save and then pick one of these up. Whoa! You see that? It gets like way bigger and then it shrinks again. I wonder why it shrinks. Yeah, that's strange, right? Oh, it's once I move it around? So somewhere in process that's happening? That's strange. I don't know what would change the scale of that. Unless item has some code for that. No, it doesn't. It's just speed. That's strange. It's only when it moves again. And like I said, it's like comically large. We can't have it be that big. I think it'd have to be 1.25, if anything. At which point, let's just make a new vector 2. Can we just say new? 1.25, 1.25. Oh, no, it's a variant, so you need to specify vector 2. Over the course of half a second, that's also a little bit too long. Maybe like a 15th, or not 15th, sorry, a 1/6 of a second. Excuse me. Man. Well, let's try that again. No, there's no items on the ground, right? No, there are. Yeah, so why is it shrinking afterward? I just don't get what would change the scale. In fact, how about this? Let's not even tween it. Let's just set the scale. Displayed held item dot scale equals new vector. We'll just make it super large. I don't want to have to wonder, is it the larger item or not? This is going to make it very obvious because it's going to be like 80 by 80. But I think something's resetting it afterward. And I still need to find out what. Yeah, you can see it flicker large for 1 frame. I wonder if it's the quick move menu. What if we just turn that off? It's a good thing I happen to... No, it's not that. What is doing that? Is there some other tween that's happening? This is for stop holding item. That's it. Hey, Turk. Are we game yet? What do you mean? We're still 43 days away from launch. But it's going well. I just can't figure out how I'm modifying the scale of this thing. Where would we be doing this? Or maybe... Yeah, no, where would we be doing this? Unless we clone the item again? Or add child does something like this? Hey, Skate. Welcome in. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's coming from here. Start holding, update label, set opacity, contextual tip. No, it's not any of that. Held item equals item. Do we do anything with that? No. Very bizarre. Yeah, very bizarre. I don't know what's causing the scale to change. I wonder if we can change any other property. I wonder what it would be though. Maybe like rotation. Let's say rotation degrees equals 180. So it'll be upside down now. So is it just upside down for 1 frame, or does it stay that way? Like, is something resetting the entire transform? Because if that's the case, then there's some other tween that's coming into play probably that is doing too much and should just be set to the properties it's actually modifying. No, this hat is upside down now. Oh, man, I don't get it. I don't know what it is about. Also, this is hilarious. I don't know why it's funny to me, but I kind of want to do this as a joke sometimes. Like 1% of the time you pick up an item and it's upside down. I don't think players would think that that's a feature. I think they think it's a bug. So I can change the rotation and it's fine, but I can't change the scale or else it gets reset. So that means that something's probably resetting just the scale somewhere. I mean, I guess we can just search for scale and find all the tweens in the entire game. There are not very many of these. Oh, would you look at that? Animate display item being taken. That's not what I want, though. And that's the only thing that exists that changes the scale in the entire game. At least via a tween. There could be something else that's changing the scale by just doing dot scale. But there are only 6 places where we do that. Battler, that doesn't count. Smoke particle doesn't count. Title screen is not even in play. And then the battle panel. Yeah, weird. I don't know what's doing this. Hey, Midian, are you cloning the original item in process? Maybe it's cloning before the tween. Yeah, let me take a look at that. And also, welcome to the stream for you too. Let's see. Player held item, pickup item. Start holding. And what does clone even do? It just creates a new item with the same ID and quantity, which instantiates a brand new scene. So clone in this case is a brand new copy. We add it and then we set its scale. I don't see anything wrong here. Nervous about the release? I'm a little nervous, yeah. It's just I've spent a lot of time working on this game and feedback's been pretty good. But will it reach enough people? Will it remain good after people are paying for it? What will people expect after it's launched? How will I feel? I don't know, there's a lot of questions. I was thinking about the one thing a dev colleague at work once told the project manager when she asked us if we were prepared. And he answered, what could go wrong? There are endless possibilities of failure. Yeah. Yeah, but I think there are some like broad categories of failure, and I'm not worried about all of them. Like, is the game bad? I don't think so. So I think in general, it's either that like the game is good, but never sells enough. And enough is in quotes. I don't really have a threshold I need to hit. But yeah, the game is good, but never sells enough. The game isn't received well for whatever reason, or people think the price is too high. I think those are my main things that I'm worried about. Anyway, I still can't find out what's going wrong here. And nothing, like I said, we never do. The only places we have dot scale are here. None of them have to do with items. So we never set the scale back to 1. I wonder what else could do this. Like add child is done here. What if we did this on the next frame, maybe? Yeah, what if I just do like a process frame? Yeah, here. And we're not just allowed to do this though. Could just be git tree on this, right? And there we have it. And now it's going to complain about, oh, wait, can only be used in async. Yep. So let's just call testeroni over here. Like this. Private async task testeroni. Yeah, good. All right. And now this is dereference a possibly null value. We're going to just force it to be there. I just want to see, is waiting 1 frame all it takes? Although even then I wouldn't know what's causing this. It could be something that's only ever in a TSCN file. It is possible. Yeah, so if I just click one of these now, no, it's still only growing for a single frame. What is happening? Item.tsn. Is anything else going on here? No, there's no animation player or something. I mean, I guess we could search for scale equals and then find it in scene files. TSCN : instance law, loading screen, rays of light. No, none of these would matter. None of those. None of this stuff. Crypt. Mines. I don't care about any of that. Guildmaster item gravity scale. Oh, because physics are enabled. That might actually be it. I think physics are enabled. Why don't we disable it on that though? Displayed held item dot turn off collision. This calls freeze. Freeze does what exactly? Body's frozen. Gravity and force is not applied anymore. Yeah, I think this might be it. Oh my god. I only know about this from having experimented very briefly with some physics related stuff earlier in Godot. I'm not even positive that's what's happening here, but it's possible. That was it? Wow. Never would have guessed that. Yeah, that's crazy. That's really crazy. And that's why rotation worked, because rotation isn't going to be reset by the physics engine. Work's still crazy. And everyone was on the edge of their seat waiting. I was waiting. And thanks for telling me. My nightmare is you spend a lot of time on the game, you release it, and the reviews say that it's bland. I mean, specifically that it's bland. Isn't the nightmare that they just say this game sucks or something? Like, aren't there worse things that people could say if they're going to review it? The thing is, and I'm going to just keep sharing this video for the rest of time. Let me find it. I should really make a command about this. Let me do that right now. Let's save it as... I'll save it as evolution because that's what I think I'll probably search for. Adam made a video about the evolution of Skeleseller and lessons he learned from making the game. It's... how long is it? 29 minutes and 8 seconds long. Okay, so I'll just say it's about 30 minutes long. Okay, anyway, the thing I talk about in here toward the end is about product market fit and how this was the biggest learning from making Botland, which is you shouldn't be developing anything for like a year or 2 years and not know if people want that thing. So validate the product as you go, validate the market ahead of time. I think for games, it's hard to tell that there's a market specifically for your game ahead of time completely. Like, sure, if you make a super ultra niche game, like, I don't know, puzzle horror platformer or something like that, like, yeah, maybe you can tell ahead of time, oh, this might not do well. But then you probably just market it at the larger genres of those. But yeah, I think it's really, really important to find out that what you're making is worthwhile. So that if you heard that it's bland at launch, you'd probably have heard that it was bland at 6 months in and at 1 year in and 2 years in. So it's not a surprise that people are saying like the game is bland. Otherwise, you're probably not testing with the right audience. All right, what's kind of interesting here is we never needed collision on this, and I'm kind of surprised we never turned it off. And I want to write this somewhere about how scale works. Do I have a troubleshooting section here? Is this troubleshooting? Yeah. Scale gets reset. Scale is reset on the next frame. So I ran into an issue where a physics enabled object. What makes something physics enabled? It just has a rigid body. This is a loot item. I wasn't even looking at the right thing. Oh, that's a shame. All right, what is this? Yeah, rigid body 2D. Rigid body 2D. Where I set the scale of a rigid body 2D. Then it got reset on the next frame. This is because physics enabled objects. I should find an official documentation thing for this. Godot scale physics object or rigid body 2D. Is there a way to scale it? Had no effect. Yeah, so this is the problem here. Yeah, so you can't scale the rigid body 2D itself. You could scale the sprites. In which case, I could have just changed that and not frozen this. Either way, it's fine. Do they say this here somewhere? Yeah. This is behavior specific to a rigid body 2D. To work around it, either writing proper notes is sometimes a drag because you have to find all the right things. And in this case, I want to find freeze. Either set freeze to true or scale just a sprite and not the entire rigid body 2D. Okay, in our case, it should be fine to do this. So now we just need to make a convincing enough effect. So we set this tween back to here. We get rid of this testosterone. We get rid of this. And we just try this out. Oh, wait, whoops, I never froze it. Oh, yeah, I did right there. So that scaling will work. But also because we don't need this. Random question, key lime pie versus pumpkin versus apple. Never really been a fan of pumpkin stuff. But I'm also, for whatever reason, I don't seek out pies. So I have pie maybe once a year. So I don't know what a key lime pie tastes like. I can kind of picture it. Yeah, all I can say is not pumpkin. I can't decide between key lime or apple. You're missing out, so missing out. Well, I should do a dessert tier list at some point. I went to a bakery on Saturday with my wife, and I was deciding between, I mean, there were only so many things at the bakery, so it's not like it was the entire universe of desserts, but I was deciding between a cookie, a muffin, a cinnamon roll, and there was something else. Oh, yeah, banana bread. And I ended up getting the cookie. It was pretty good. I probably would have gone for the muffin, though, but it looked a little burned. Okay, so now when you click this, it gets a little bit larger. I think it's taking just a touch too long to do that. Hey, again, Cakes. I hope you're feeling better. I went and checked out your VOD, and I saw that you were sick. And you were just like, I need to take a break. My brain is in overdrive right now. But yeah, thank you for the raid. Welcome, everyone. I'm looking forward to your game launching. Are you excited? Hey, Raticide. I don't know how many viewers I even had here, but I'll still give a shout out. Thanks for asking. I wasn't feeling good. Are you better now? Was the weekend good enough to recharge? And hey, Jinxie. Yeah, for those new here, I'm working on Skeleseller. We're trying to do something kind of minor here, which is when you pick up an item, I wanted it to scale up a little bit. I mean, this looks a little strange because I'm zoomed in. But yeah, you can see this happening here. It's scaling up a little. It's taking just a hair too long. Like I want it to be maybe 1/10 of a second that it takes to do that. And maybe it doesn't even grow to that much. Maybe it's like 1.15. So it just gets a little bit bigger. And hey, lol boy. But yeah, welcome in everyone. We are also pretty close to launch for this game. I know Cakes mentioned that the last time he rated me, but I think it's 46 days in the title. It's going to be March 17th that I'm launching. And I think Cakes also mentioned that he's probably pushing his game launch up by a week, which by the way, Cakes, I wanted to mention this. Steam does some like visibility round, and I think it starts a month ahead of time. So if you're going to push your game up by a week, you probably want to do it very soon so you don't lose out on a week of that extra visibility. But double check that what I said is even correct, because I'm not totally sure that it is. But yeah, so this game, Skeleseller, just a very quick overview of it, is you hire adventurers. I already apparently have all the adventurers. You send them into battle. They fight automatically for you. And they earn items, which you then sell in your town and use the money to upgrade your adventurers in your town. And it's been in development for about 2 years. It's coming out pretty soon. It is very much a turn your brain off kind of game. There is certainly strategy in this game, and there are lots of little things you can do, but they're not ever going to hold you back that much. Like, you could just turn on the game, unlock auto battling, walk away from your computer, come back, and have like beaten the game all within the same day. So it's just it's an experience for fun. It's not meant to be like a play this game for 50 hours kind of thing. All right, let's try the item pickup thing and just see, does this look a little bit better? I do like it. I think it's a little bit subtle. Yeah, I wonder how it looks with some other items. Let's pick up something else like this. Yeah, I think it's nice. I think it's a nice effect. It just makes it a tiny bit bigger. If you're super zoomed in, then this thing, well, I guess it always covered this, no matter whether it's a tiny bit bigger or a lot bigger. It doesn't look so much bigger, though, that it stands out from the other ones. In fact, you can't even tell. If you just look at a glance, could you even tell this is, I think, 15% bigger than the item on the ground? If you have it right next to it, you can, but if it's like over here, you can't really. I don't want to make it grow too much. Push to 2027. What about a selection board or something instead? This is just a polish thing. So I think it's already clear to the player what they picked up. And it shows a shadow on the ground. So it's just like it's a nice effect that it gets a little bit bigger. Can you pick up people? No, this is not Roller Coaster Tycoon. Would it be better if it zoomed in the same size, no matter if you're zoomed in or out? The UI that shows up there, I think what you're saying is that when you zoom in the camera, that this UI should get larger. This is not actually in world space, though. It's in screen space. And I know that what you're saying is like put it in screen space. But then you run into issues where it's like, well, now we need to render it at different sizes so that the font is still crisp. And in general, we just tend to avoid doing that. Like if you're super far zoomed out, you wouldn't want this thing to be like a really tiny ring, or else you wouldn't really be able to see anything. When you're really far zoomed in, you wouldn't want it to take up the whole screen, because then you need to move the mouse really far to get to it. In terms of marketing, what are you going to do? So I've started doing some stuff already, but I can't really say a lot of it was successful. A lot of what I've been doing has been influencer outreach, and I can share some methods if you want, whether now or over Discord or something. But yeah, influencer outreach. I've emailed a ton of people. I cannot show this spreadsheet on stream because it's got a lot of their personal information, but I've had a pretty good success rate at responses, but just not necessarily in terms of impact. So if you look at Skeleseller videos on YouTube, there are quite a lot of them. And actually, I kept track of a playlist somewhere that's got like all of them in there. But if you look at the top two videos, 111,000 views and 46,000. These two videos alone were responsible for a ton of the playlists that the game got. Or sorry, playlist, wish list the game got. I have an annotated graph somewhere, but I'll just show you the history here too. So in general, that was Idler Fest, I think. That was when I was on the front page of Twitch. That was at the start of Next Fest. That's when those YouTube videos came out. So this entire graph is eclipsed by this peak right here. It's like if nothing else happened, then I still would have gotten thousands of wish lists. Like, look, 1,200 in one day from just someone making a YouTube video, basically. And then I don't know what this was over here. So pretty much you can kind of say that all of my marketing was worthless and that you shouldn't take my advice. But I've been doing influencer outreach. I'm going to do some press outreach. I've been trying to collect up some press email addresses. I'm going to email them. All the people who have covered Skeleseller already, I'm going to reach out to them again with launch keys. And I've got some streamers in mind that I want to ask to have them play the game too. Speaking of which, if you ever want to play my game on your stream, I'm happy to give you a key. See, that's marketing right there. Market the person asking about marketing. Hey, DM bro, hey Megabox. Don't forget to email trailer to IGN. Yeah. So I want to email it to some more people. And then after the game launches, I want to run ads. Right now, I don't know anything about conversion rates. So like if I reach out to somebody and they have 100 viewers, I don't know how many people are even going to want to buy it. Let's say it's 5. So, okay, that's going to be $50 worth of stuff. So now with a 100 viewer stream, I don't want to pay more than $50. So it's like, I haven't been sponsoring streamers either, but same thing with ads. I don't have that conversion rate yet. How many mails have you sent? Did you go to YouTube and unveil their emails? Yeah, so I'll pull back the curtain a little bit more on this. First of all, how many mails did I send? Let's go find out. Let me just make sure there's nothing private in what I'm about to share here. Okay, yeah. So here's my entire column of people I've contacted. And if we get rid of any blank spaces that are here, and then delete all of those, and that, and a couple of like NA and rejects, and that, I've contacted 110 people apparently, at least according to my spreadsheet. And I've heard back from... Where's the number of selections? I've heard back from 56. So I've had roughly like a 50% response rate, which I think is pretty good. As far as getting their emails, so let me just show you what my process has kind of been for this. If you go to your own Steam page, at the very bottom of it is more like this. So I would just search on YouTube for any of these, like Eidolon, for example. Although Eidolon's a little bit of a specific case because it's a very long form game. So people who play Eidolon sometimes are not looking for other games. But then I'd go to either videos and you'd find specific channels here, or you could find the topic for Eidolon. Let's see if that shows up. It might be this. Yeah, so this is auto-generated by YouTube. This is a topic, and if you click popular down here, or not even click, now you can see all the names of people who did this, and you can see views that they got. A while ago, someone in my channel shared a tool that will try to help you with this. I didn't really find it better than just going to YouTube myself, and then just recognizing when a name is someone I've already added to my list. Then for getting their email, usually most YouTubers will have it in their about section. So if you go to, and you already know about this, but I'm showing this for everyone now. If you go to someone's about section, they usually have this view email address. You can only do this 5 times per account per day, but you can have multiple YouTube accounts and you can do it from any of those accounts. So you can technically get like 25 or just ask your community or something for help. But a lot of times people don't list it, and then I have to go into stalker mode and try to find them. And that's very hard. So a lot of times you see that I had like reject written on my list. It's because I couldn't find their email address. Sometimes I'll go on Discord and ping them. If you ping them on Discord, you have to have a very personalized message for them to actually respond, in my experience. Otherwise, they just ignore you. I sent 100 and heard back from 0. Did you copy paste them all? Because I personalized every single message that I sent. I phrased my question badly. I meant that the items scale with the UI ring. Currently, when you pick it up and are zoomed out, you don't see them really, but it's whatever. Oh, I see. Yeah. I don't hear back from them. I just randomly find videos on YouTube. Yeah, that happens sometimes too, where I send an email and I say, hey, will you check out this game? And they do check out the game and they even make a video, but they just never respond to my email. What am I working on? I'm making a game called Skeleseller. And what kind of browser do I use? I'm using Chrome. If you're wondering why it's dark, it's... Wait, that's not... Hang on a second. Let me just delete that command because that's never what I want. I think there's like Chrome theme is the command that I want. Yeah. There we go. She did the same as me when it comes to outreach. Great. I didn't personalize emails, generic mail. Yeah. The other thing I think is having a picture of your game in the mail. So it was something like, hi, name, description about your game, and then a screenshot. It was just a single screenshot showing off the logo and gameplay, and then whatever closing I'd have. And I think your game looks good, so I don't think that like including a screenshot is going to hurt. And if you don't have a screenshot, I think it will hurt compared to having one. Seeing your keyboard, I realize I might not be ready to build a game from scratch. You could definitely use this keyboard whether or not you're a game developer or something, but it is not like an out-of-the-box thing. Also, I'm copy-pasting Cakes' legally binding promise. Ironclad promise. Let's get this. Let's get the time. There. Contract signed. All right, cool. And by the way, Cakes, if you ever feel like, oh, I don't want to do that, or I, whatever, don't have the time, that's also totally fine. All right, let me close my millions of tabs. So yeah, and then what other marketing am I doing? I think that was pretty much it. Oh yeah, and then I'm doing content creation myself. So I've made some videos, but those haven't done very well. The one that did decently is the newest one, the evolution of Skeleseller. And this, surprisingly, 25 more subscribers, only over 1,000 views. But in terms of, yeah, here, I guess, impressions, like the impressions graph is starting to level off, which means that we're almost certainly not going to go beyond like 1,200 views for this video. And this took a long time to make. So the next thing I'm going to try, and I'm going to start this pretty soon, is shorts creation. And I've got a bunch of ideas for that. I think I can pretty much just take any portion of the game and be like, hey, here's the garbage slime. Here's how it works. You bring items to it and it'll give you money, 5 gold, and then 4 gold, and then 3 gold as it gets less hungry. And like, that's it. That's probably going to be the short. I maybe put in a little bit more information. This is Skeleseller, blah, 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 and produce that and see how that does. Because I think that that'll do much better than these long form videos that I've been doing. Now, the problem is I am very anti TikTok and Instagram. So I think that if you're not anti those things, that you could get a much wider audience. but I like refuse to install TikTok and Instagram. So those are platforms that I am not reaching. Yeah, I think shorts will probably be the way to go. The other thing I wonder about is content creation schedules for them. Like if I make 20 videos, should I do one video release per day? Should I do several? Should I try to release them like several days apart? And also, how long will it take me to make 20 videos? Like the shorts that I made in the past, the view numbers are higher, but in terms of what YouTube cares about, whoops, I clicked the wrong thing. In terms of what YouTube cares about, it's not just view counts you look at because people consume so many more shorts. So like my best short got 16,000 views. That's probably kind of the equivalent of getting 1,600 views for a long form video. And unfortunately, it was for something that's completely unrelated to Skeleseller. I probably should have like, I don't know. I got to try the Skeleseller stuff. Yeah. You don't need to spam shorts to make good shorts. Well, I think what matters really is the impact from those shorts. So like if you got 1,000 views and that turned into 1,000 wish lists, that's like a crazy impact, right? If you got 1 million views and you got like 10 wish lists, it probably wasn't really worthwhile to make that video. Yeah, you could argue 10 is probably going to equate to $100 or something. So yeah, maybe it's worth it. Depends on what you do. But that's what I think of in terms of impact. It's sort of like what advertisers think about when it comes to sponsoring a stream or sponsoring a video. They tend to think on Twitch in terms of concurrent view count, on YouTube in terms of views on the video, and not like, oh, how many subscribers does that person have or how many followers do they have? Because it's like on the end of the day, it's like everyone wants to make money off of these things. Oh yeah, sorry, that's the other thing. A follow-up is a really, really good idea. So there are a lot of people that I reached out to, and I don't know the exact numbers on this, but I would estimate that it's about 30% of the people only responded after a follow-up. So I would usually like wait a week or so, and then I'd send a follow-up and just be like, did you see this? I mean, I didn't ask those exact words, but something like, no worries if not. You know, some short thing. And then a lot of times, in fact, actually, let me copy paste something that someone said to me recently. If I can find this quickly. They made a lot of typos, but it was yeah, this. I followed up with this person and they said, thank you again for the demo request. If I missed it and hadn't seen the game, I would have really missed out on a lot. Like, this is really reassuring. And also that the follow-ups are worthwhile to do. Schedule on shorts doesn't matter at all. There's no upload every day. Yeah, I don't know how much it matters because I think that if you get subscribers from your shorts, they will typically follow a schedule themselves. Like there's this guy I watch who plays StarCraft called Artosis, and he generally makes like one VOD per day, or not a VOD, like a cast per day. And that allows me, like at lunchtime every day, I can go watch him. If he ever didn't stream for a day, I might stop watching him forever. Like that has happened for me before, where someone did not follow a schedule that they had, and I'm like, well, I'm just never watching him again because I fell out of the habit, not because of some like principle that I hold about it. Artosis pylon, yeah, I do know. And I still like that people talk about it. All right, I think we're going to keep this in. Also, the turning off collision should potentially do something for us. In fact, I'm not actually sure why this didn't cause an issue later. Let's try one more time. So funny how they have two kinds of viewers. Live stream versus YouTube cast. Oh, their live stream is apparently like super toxic in terms of chat, right? That's what I've heard. I've only watched the YouTube cast though. Artosis is an incredibly knowledgeable person when it comes to StarCraft. Like I am blown away by his level of analysis at the game. And that he can watch the opening 3 minutes of the game. By the way, I skip all the first 3 minutes of his videos, but he can watch the first 3 minutes and be like, here's why this game is exciting. Like he changed his pylon timing by a microsecond here, and it's going to have huge payoffs down the road. It's like, no, it won't. This is all nonsense. What's the point of this game? The point of this game is just to have fun. I mean, there's no like overarching, hey, the story matters or it's competitive or something. It's very laid back. You build up your town. You know, send adventurers in the battle. So I'll show you the basic gameplay loop here. We got our mage walking into the portal, the rogue walking into the portal. They'll just fight automatically. I'll put this up here so you can see it. So the mage can cast fireball and lightning spells. The rogue just uses quick strike. and then they defeat this enemy and they get some potions, which you go stock in your shops. And then these little customers can walk around and come buy it. I'll speed this up a little. They don't have to buy things. They're not just drones that walk immediately to the store. So yeah, this one's coming over here, buys my potion, and I can use that to like build some buildings or something. We've got everything accessible here, but in the real game, that wouldn't be the case. So like I can get this and get auto battling and turn that on. And yeah, you build up your town, you get more adventurers, they get stronger. You can level them up. Oh, more like you. Oh, sorry. Okay, that was not clear to me. What's the point of the game for me? So I was kind of talking about this before. I made a game before this called Botland, and that was like a 95% passion game, just a game I wanted to make. Skeleseller is, I've been saying 65% passion. Like, I like the idea. I like what I've been doing. I like the journey of all of this stuff. But there is also the point of like, I want to sell the game, and that's what's going to happen in 46 days or whatever I said. So yeah, the point for me is to exercise my creativity, fulfill some passion and a dream that I've always had to make a successful game. And the monetization is part of that, but it's not like, I don't know, if the game made a piddly amount of money, I'd hopefully just learn from it and move on and not be like, no, my dreams are crushed. Hey, T-Gen. Regularly watch Smash Bros or whatever game daily if they had such a caster. There are some good commentators. In fact, I don't know if you watch Melee at all, but Vicious Vish, I think, is like the best Melee commentator. Where's his? Yeah, he's, I think he's got a YouTube channel. But he's not there for all the events. But he's fantastic. I'll be cursed. Made a clip of your follow-up stuff, saved it to my to-do list. Okay, yeah. Yeah, and if you have any other questions, feel free to ask. I don't have any like super secret sauce or anything when it comes to marketing. And for a while, I had an idea. Okay, so I told you that if you just search for Skeleseller on YouTube, you find Idle Cub's video. This is the best performing video. For a little while, what my strategy is to go to his channel and click videos. And all of these games, just go find who else covered these games. That was not the best idea, but it was decent. Because like, his name is Idle Cub, and I'm making an Idle game, so I thought, okay, yeah, let's go find a bunch of other Idle games. What's the biggest challenge you've encountered while working on Skeleseller? Biggest challenge? You know, looking back, I was just talking about this yesterday with someone else who's been working on Skeleseller, Kevin, and I kind of talked about what the biggest time wastes were. And this is in the context of AI. Look, could AI help these things? But actually, I think one of the biggest time wastes was game design iteration. And I don't know if it was the biggest challenge, but again, if you watch this evolution of Skeleseller video, and I'll pull this up now, and we're not going to watch the whole thing, but this is what the game looks like now. You've just seen me play this on stream. But if we look at, here's what the prototype for this game looked like. It was a totally different game. You manually moved characters around. You got into battles that you could manually control by clicking these buttons. And it was just a very different game. There were no items in the game. And I don't think this was the most fun, but this took a month to design and then develop. And this is a prototype for sure. It's not like high quality code, but that took a month. Imagine if I just knew, let's say, okay, don't take this the wrong way, but like, let's say someone else wanted to copy this game completely, Skeleseller. They're just like, okay, we got items, we got shops, we got whatever. You could build things somewhere. If you wanted to improve this game and be like, all right, let's let you build something wherever you want. You have so much game design done for you now because you're essentially copying something. I have never liked making games that way. I always want to think about the problems myself and like think through what systems fit best. And again, I talk about this in this video, but so many people are like, you should add experience points or you should add equipment or something. It's like, I don't think it benefits Skeleseller. So I didn't do that stuff. And as a result, we need to come up with those systems in a way that actually fits. That takes so much time and iteration that I think that was probably what I'd say is maybe the most complex part of Skeleseller. I very much like writing documents for things. If you just took a look at the number of pages of stuff I've written in the last 2 years, it's probably in the thousands. Like this document on its own is 52 pages. And then if we look at anything else, like I can't show you everything on screen, but if we look at like challenge mode, let me see if I can find this. All right, so here's another design document I have. This I think has probably many tabs here. Yeah, so the to-do list is pretty short. But if we look at the archive to-do list, it's 116 pages. Like, look at all these tasks that I got through. I mean, this is not necessarily design, but then the design portion is 30 pages. The scratch section of this is 163 pages. This is all just me spewing ideas and like processing all this stuff. And then we have more another 23 pages here. Like I said, I'm not kidding when I say I wrote like thousands of pages of stuff. That's where the complexity comes in for this, because it's, in hindsight, you can see that these pieces fit well together. Like having the farm in this game and being able to like drop potions onto it and then go harvest the crops and level up your adventurers. This makes sense. This is perfect. I love this. I think this does so many good things for the game. But this took a long time to come to this conclusion. And I think game design is a little bit tough because for any given problem you have, there are many different solutions that could work, and you have to pick which one will work best. And at some point, you need to just like come up with something. A lot of people say it's easier to improve something than it is to come up with it from scratch, but like you could go in the wrong direction and then improve that wrong direction and then find out that you actually kind of wasted time. Biggest time waste is chat. Sorry, Adam. I think that the benefits from streaming still outweigh the time losses from responding to things here and there. But yeah, every once in a while I do go off on a tangent. Okay, so I think we're going to keep this. Yeah, I like this. It's a little minor thing that we can do. Make held items grow slightly. Fixes that. Yeah, that's it. Okay, nothing really else to say there. And then there's the z-index issue. And I wrote that we should merge this. What else do I have here? 5 to 10 issues per day. Potentially add to this. Yeah, so this is going to go on to the Tuesday stuff. Let's fill out the journal as well. Biggest strength, you're willing to throw away bad game design and rework it. I think it's also somewhat of a privilege. Like imagine if I only had, I'm just making something up, a budget of $10,000 and 3 months to make a game. Like at some point you can't throw away your design because you'll run out of resources. And it's better to complete a game than it is, I think, to have it never see the light of day, even if that game is going to be bad as a result. Especially if you're a starting studio. I mean, if like Nintendo did this, it'd be a bad idea. But as an indie dev, I think it's fine. Okay, so continued reducing the bug backlog. Went from like 134 to... This is going to be really hard to figure out what number we're at because all the fixed issues are on a branch. So I definitely did all of those. And this, and this, and this, and this. So how many do we have selected? 11? So we're down to 126. I closed like 8 issues today. Which I got to over the weekend. Hey, Thels. Yeah, I saw that you were... Oh, wait. Oh, my bad. I was saying I saw too. You left a comment on one of my videos. But yeah, have you considered adding CPU and missile systems? Yes, Botland 2.0 in Skeleseller. How's it going, Thels? Sometimes you have to waste time to gain time. I've kind of struggled with this thought of like, was the time waste inevitable and just part of your like progress? And again, I have to put both these things in quotes because maybe it wasn't a waste of time. I guess the best way to look at this is, let's say you have a bug and you investigate it for 3 hours and you fix it in 1 line of code. Now, a lot of people look at this and think it was just 1 line of code. Like that took me too long to find. But I look at that as that's a necessary part of fixing a bug. And the ways you'd improve this is either by improving your process or improving your knowledge, usually. So in this case, it wasn't really a time waste. It was just an inevitable part of fixing that bug. And maybe the bad design is the inevitable part of working toward good design. However, this is why I say that you can kind of bypass all of that by just copying people. And this is what a lot of people do. And I don't really like that idea. So many games start out as we're making X, but better in some way. And yeah, I think gaming still needs this, but I think having more novelty if you can still make a fun game would be ideal. But it's an ideal that doesn't really matter. I think the biggest strength is shooting down chat's questionable game design. The way I look at this is you need some sort of arbiter of the ideas that you have. And this is kind of true for bigger companies too. You know, I've heard of siloing within large tech companies and how some companies' greatest strength is that they have like a Jeff Bezos character who can just say like, we're doing that and we're not doing that. And I think it's really good sometimes. I contain all the information about the design of the game, hopefully. So when someone suggests something, I could be like, well, here's why it might not work, or here's why that's a great idea. Whereas chat wouldn't probably keep all of that information in their heads, or they wouldn't have played the game yet, or they wouldn't have, I don't know, seen the context of why certain things happened. Yeah. Hey, Blork, learning is never a straight line. Yeah. Much more productive since I stopped trying to prevent potential losses of productivity in the future. Yeah. The other thing too is I think recognizing when you're going down a rabbit hole. I've gotten a lot better at this in the last year of identifying when I'm frustrated and need a break. I know this sounds really basic, but there are so many times I would just slam my head against a problem repeatedly without realizing like I'm not making any progress. Just take like 4 hours off, come back to this issue. You'll be much better in the future. So I'm much better at this now. And yeah, I think that's one of those like core skills you need to develop. Or just never get frustrated, or just always make progress. Those are much harder. So I come up on my YouTube the other day. Wanted to check in. Game looks incredibly polished in ways the bot line never reached. Well done. Thanks. Yeah. Starting to dive a little bit into SDL3 GPU API. Oh, nice. Yeah, I have not done any 3D stuff yet. I might do some bits of it for my next game. I'm not sure. Hey, King of Woods. You sound and look smart. Thank you. I was thinking more of chatting about unrelated or even related stuff. Oh, yeah. I agree with that. Yeah, and I think it's like we can't just focus on one thing constantly. You do a bunch of little different things. Okay, so I want to do that and this. Yeah, so this thing that I mentioned here, push Discord a bit more. If you're not in one of those two Discords, there's the general Adam Learns one where we just talk about random stuff at this point because Adam Learns is essentially dead as a thing. It used to be a course site that I made, and none of these are paid courses anymore, and I'm not planning on developing this. But that's a general one. And then this Skeleseller one is obviously specific to Skeleseller. If people don't mind joining at least one of those, I do want to sort of mobilize people more toward launch. Steam reviews at launch matter quite a lot. I'm going to say this a lot in the next 43 days, but the demo reviews don't really matter. When the game launches, if anyone plans on buying it, leaving a review, whether positive or negative, is a good thing. Ideally, you like the game and you leave a positive review, but just having at least 10 reviews as quickly as possible is what's really good, because otherwise Steam does not surface your game anywhere. Valve did this a while ago to combat all the slop that was being uploaded in like spam games. So the thinking is, if you can't get 10 friends or family members or whatever random internet strangers to review your game, why should some arbitrary person on Steam see your game? And yeah, that's why getting the 10 reviews is good. But also there are certain thresholds, and people might not know about this. There are thresholds of where you get the different aggregate scores. So for example, Skeleseller has only positive reviews right now, but it's not listed as overwhelmingly positive because you can only get that once you've hit 500 reviews total. And once you do have that, that's like a massive stamp of approval from the community at large to know that your game is worth playing. So yeah. Hey, Smoo. And thanks. Yeah. It's good to see you again. Just came back from a team meeting. We're not pushing the demo out for this typing fest, maybe a play test. So I'll get some Italian translation going. Okay. Well, out of curiosity, why did you decide not to do that? I guess even just having a page, if it shows up in the, maybe it requires a demo, but if you can get your page to still show up and people could wish list it, that might be good. Because the event is small. If that's the only reason, I think it's probably still worth pursuing because they're not mutually exclusive. But yeah, I mean, your team talked about it and I don't have all the context. Let me bump this here too. This is the branch I've been working on. This is another bug I can tackle. So I did work yesterday to come up with this list of bugs and we just tackled like 8 of them today. But I haven't done work for tomorrow. So maybe I could say like, find more bugs that I can tackle on stream. Yeah, and then this. So we're down to, how many did I say? 126. And how about this? Let's do work days until March 17th. There are 30 days. Okay, that's not a large number. So 126 divided by 30 is 4.2 issues per work day. It's doable, but it is a little bit tough. Some of these are naturally going to happen, though, as we get closer to launch. Like, one of them is just launch the game. So obviously that's going to happen when we launch the game. Where are other ones? Oh, yeah, like support Steam Cloud. We should probably work on that soon. Yeah. No, they're not all priority things, and some of them are just going to be closed without ever working on them. And some of them are like, oh, this one's done. Yeah. Some of these are little polished things that I wanted to do too. Oh, man. Do you play games? If so, how with that keyboard? I do play games, but not with this keyboard. I have a what you'd call a regular keyboard for playing games. It's just some random QWERTY keyboard I have. I don't like playing games on this keyboard unless they're like very simple, like Baba Is You kind of games. But I play the finals, and I've been playing Slay the Spire lately. So yeah, just those. You only get the boost on demo release, not on updates. I see. Gotcha. Yeah. Okay, I have been streaming for a decent amount of time. I mentioned this before. I have not been streaming in the afternoon so that I can focus on some other tasks. And today, the main thing I want to focus on is getting these pages set up for translation. We're going to launch Skeleseller in several different languages, and the Steam pages should be in those languages too. I imagine if a German person or a Brazilian person lands on one of these pages and is like, this is all in English, so they probably didn't translate the game, that would be quite the shame. Let me also say, make sure the game shows up on Steam as being in these other languages. Yeah, I can translate to Scottish. Yeah, let's just have you do that. We just won't even surface it. Hey, Vibe. Yeah, I can play typing games with this keyboard. I dig it. Are you also playing idle games? I don't generally like idle games. I think, okay, so I know this sounds a little bit controversial, but I think idle games are generally cash grabs and play on people's addiction to numbers going up. That's my general take. And I've played a bunch of idle games in the past, and I just keep thinking the same thing. Like, I'm not at any point like having fun playing the game. I don't play Arc Raiders, no. You mentioned people who downloaded the demo but didn't play it. If it helps, I'm one, and it's because I want to keep myself ready for the whole game. Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah, and I'm just surprised at how large of a percentage that was. That's all. How many games do you plan for launch? What do you mean? Oops, it's the wrong quote. There we go. Go to monkey type and show us your performance. I'm really curious. I haven't done that, but I have this video which kind of talked about it a little bit, at least the words per minute. Find it interesting to see whether devs also play the kind of games they're making. I think a lot of times they do. I'm explicitly trying not to do that too much. I want to be as uninfluenced as possible by other games. If you haven't seen this video, I suggest checking it out. Sorry, I mean, how many languages? Oh, the languages we have are these ones. Anything that's not at 0% is what we have planned. So French is done, German is done, Portuguese is done. Spanish is at about 43%. Italian is at 16%. I would have liked to get Chinese, Japanese, and Korean, but I didn't find anyone to do those. So I'll probably pay some company after the game is launched if it's successful. I'm not going to do Arabic. I just looked up what are the most popular languages to play games in. In fact, it's kind of interesting to see what other indie games have done. Like Terraria, I think literally last week added Chinese, Japanese, and Korean. And Stardew Valley has a mod for Arabic. So it's like, it's probably not worth it. Or at least it's not worth it until you can afford to do it. What engine and language? I've got the the command there. Yeah, Godot and C#. Okay, sorry. I need to go. I need to get lunch. I really, really appreciate everyone being here. And thank you. Let's go raid somebody. Let's raid Lana. It's been a little bit of time since I've raided her. All right, take care, all. I will be back tomorrow morning, probably. And then we got to ramp up some marketing stuff at some point. So bye, everyone. See ya.